There you go. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, depending on where you're calling in from. I want to appreciate you for coming in on day 4 of the ChatGPT AI Monetization Bootcamp. My name is Okwebanwo, and I'm the founder of Business 360 Success Club, as well as the founder of and CEO of Mobisoft 360 Software Business. And of course, all the businesses go on and on and on, but I try not to over-center myself here. The idea behind this is to start to sensitize our business people and entrepreneurs and individuals who are interested in learning or getting sensitized about the exploding ChatGPT and artificial intelligence industry. And I'd like to preface very early that I am not an expert in this game yet. I'd like to be clear, I'm not being modest, it's just fact. I myself did not start taking this thing very serious until a couple of months ago. So it'd be very wrong of me to come here and call myself an expert. I'm not an expert, but I've spent the last 60 days learning as much as I can, spending maybe 10, 12 hours a day on my on learning. I go to rooms of people who know. I read books, I do research, I buy materials. I've done all of that. I've spent probably maybe, I don't know, $1,000 so far on buying materials that have to do with AI and ChatGPT. That's how committed I am to this. I was spending about 8 to 10 hours literally every day on ChatGPT for the last 2 months. I've not done anything but ChatGPT in terms of study, in terms of the kind of rooms I go. Maybe every once in a while, when I really want to have fun, I may do a political room just to enjoy myself, like I'm going to have later tonight about something going on in Lagos. But essentially, I've spent about 10 hours of my waking days every day devoted to this for at least the last 60 days. That's how very serious I am taking this particular thing, because I came across it. And when I finally decided to take it serious, I realized that this thing is a game changer for many people. It's something that can literally transform your finances. It's something that can transform whatever business, if I not can, will transform whatever business you are in. This is this is something that is a journey that's already out of the box. Nobody can put it back. No government can put it back. They can try, but the artificial intelligence world, AI and artificial machine learning, represented by apps like ChatGPT, Google Bard, the Microsoft Bing, they are already out of the bag. And whether people like it or not, it is here to stay, in my personal opinion. And I realized that very early and decided that I better go learn for myself. I better take this thing serious. I better take the time that it needs, the time it requires to get myself equipped, at least to understand some of the stuff going on, because it's going to affect my business as a lawyer. It's going to affect my business as a public activist. It's going to affect my business as a software publisher. Not to talk about my life as an author. As everybody knows, I love to write. I've always done that since my first book came out in 2001, which was 22 years ago. I don't think there has been a year that I did not write 1 or 2 books since year 2001. That's why I have about 47 books out there on so many websites. I love to write. And that industry itself has been exploded by ChatGPT and Google Bard. So it is imperative for me to also go learn. Otherwise, I'm going to be left behind. So that's why we are doing this. So if you are watching us on Facebook, you may want to click the button and join us inside the Zoom call, because that will give you more leverage to be able to ask questions. But if you're comfortable on Facebook, I'm fine with that. My PowerPoints will be shared and you can see it on video. If you're on Clubhouse or you're on Gist House, some prefer to stay there and do what they need to do. That's also fine. Just stay in the area you're comfortable at, right? I will try as much as possible to make sure you get the most of my presentations and the most of the okay, somebody said the microphone. I'm getting feedbacks here. King Luke, can you hear me on Gist House? King Lu, can you hear me well or not? I don't think King Lu is there. King Lu, are you there? Okay, the guys there can hear me. I think King Lu has disappeared somewhere. All right, Olufuka, can you please let me share this thing on our WhatsApp groups, because I've not had time to share anything. I just came straight from a meeting. I had a physical meeting I had to do with a client, and then it was like 2 minutes to 11 before I got in the house. So I had to jump into the call right away. I see David Johnson there. David Jones, please come up and join us on stage here. I always love to have my brother in the room. He's got my back, and we've been working together and supporting each other. Thank you so much, David. How are you doing today, David?
Doing great, brother. Doing great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right.
I had an amazing room in your app yesterday. That was absolutely amazing. You guys definitely got to go check it out. That was awesome.
Awesome. Yes, I saw David ran some rooms on G-Stars yesterday. It was amazing. I sneaked in there for about like 20 minutes. I'm like, wow, David is running a room here. You guys should check it out. I hope the recording is even working now. All right, thank you, David. I appreciate you for the support and testing out Gist House. Gist House, for those who may not know, is the Afrocentric audio conversation app that rewards you for having great conversations, and it works and operates like Clubhouse with some amazing features. At some point, I'm going to be interviewing David on this Gist Clubhouse so that I can tell people his experience, because he was surprised at some of the features that Gist House has that Clubhouse does not even have. But for me, it's okay. Everybody stay where you are enjoying, get the most out of it. So let's get to today. For this is our day 4. If you are just joining us for this boot camp, and the format really is I make a presentation, because that's my style for this boot camp for about 90 minutes to 2 hours, and then we devolve into Q&A, the typical conversation style, because I wanted to teach some stuff and I wanted it recorded, because I'm going to be using it later as part of my masterclass that I'm going to be selling. I don't mince words on what I'm going to do. I could very well, the plan before was to do this training privately, record it, and then sell the bootcamp as a masterclass. They occurred to me that why do it privately? Why not make it a live room? Why not do it live? And record it. It still doesn't mean you won't sell it. Content is content. So forgive me if I take a lot of time in the training itself at the level that I know. And then we can go into discussions, and some who know better than I do, or who can add more content or more information to what I have to present, please feel free to do that. I don't have any ego about that at all. If I'm wrong, come up here and say, oh, that thing you said is not correct. This is a better way to do it. We are all learning. Maybe 1 year from now, I may call myself an expert on ChatGPT or AI business. Right now, I'm not. I'm a guru wannabe. I'm a ChatGPT guru wannabe. But even at that, I've realized over time that you can still talk about the little you know. Some will take it from there and go to a higher level than you. Some who don't even know anything, they will learn the little they can from you. The important thing is for you not to be presumptuous and call yourself a guru on the matter that you are not. I am not. I've repeated it 3 times now. I've only started learning this stuff. And so if what I'm teaching appears crazy, just throw it away. Go learn your own. The important thing is for you to be sensitized to what is going on, and then take responsibility for your own destiny where this is concerned. All right, having said that, I welcome you again to day 4 of the ChatGPT AI Monetization Bootcamp. It's a 21-day bootcamp where every day we will try and introduce a new business to you. It's going to go from text-based businesses to video to audio, and when we get to the video part, someone like David, I'm going to make him actually do like a 60-minute presentation like me on how you can actually go into business, producing videos with AI and being relevant in different industries, and then all of us can then tackle him and ask him questions. So David, be ready. I think I have you on day 6. So please, I would love you to come in and teach us about how we can, people can go into video business or video creation business using AI tools. It's incredible what David is doing. I've seen some of it. And I was telling him that this thing is going to blow up this whole industry called video creation. Is a whole different thing. So thank you, David. I look forward to seeing you. I'll give you the exact date after tonight so that you can be prepared and come be our trainer, my guest trainer for that day. All right. So day one, we talked about how to go into the business of commercial book authoring, where I walk you through some stuff about how you can actually make it your business, your full business, to be writing books purely for commercial purposes. I myself am doing that niche. As I told all of you on that Monday, I have written 32 books now with the aid of ChatGPT. I'm not hiding it. I'm not trying to pretend that everything is 100% by me, but ChatGPT is a tool. Just like Google is a tool, just like a calculator is a tool for calculating math. If you don't want to do the hard work yourself, that's where I see ChatGPT, and I'm going to use it to write 100 books before this year is over, guaranteed. And I'm going to sell it, and it's going to give you amazing value, because the fact that I use ChatGPT does not reduce the value of the content you are going to be getting. If anything, the content is actually more robust, more accurate, and much more profound than if I have to go sit down in one hotel, take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month to be thinking, using my brain alone. ChatGPT is my personal assistant. All right. So to make sure I write great books for you, and it should be for you. So we taught that on day one. On day two, we talked about how to, what did we even do on day two? No, day one was introduction, a general introduction to the whole ChatGPT experience. Then day two, we talked about commercial book authoring. Day three, we talk about how to use ChatGPT and AI for your affiliate marketing business. But because I only have 2 or 3 hours to talk about it, I can't teach you everything. The idea is to sensitize you, and then you have a responsibility to go to the next level yourself. That is why this bootcamp is free, because I don't consider myself an expert, even though I know more than a lot out there right now. So take it for what you can, and let's be going. Today, we're going to be talking about how to go into the business of grant writing, because that's one of the areas that I also see a lot of people can make a lot of money on. I'm going to be going over it in a minute. But before I do that, I want to give some of the important people that have stepped into my room opportunity to share a word or two before we go into the main event of the day. So David, if you don't mind, if you can share a few words with us, then we go to Eli. Is it Eli or Eli? How do I pronounce your name? Eli. Eli, is it Eli? Okay, I don't know if he's paying attention. But go ahead, David, share a few words with us before we go on. David is on Clubhouse. For those of you who are listening in on Facebook and Zoom, it's on Clubhouse. Go ahead, David.
Absolutely, absolutely. How's everybody doing this morning? Hopefully everybody is doing well and amazing. Today, I celebrate my 13th anniversary with my significant other, Tara. We literally almost forgot about it last night.
Wow.
That's how entrenched we are in our business.
Wow.
Last year, we actually celebrated a month before, in April, when it was in June 8th. And so, today I feel I encourage us all to really take a step back and be grateful for the things that we have and the people that we have surrounding us and the community that you're a part of. Because I can assure you that, going down this 21-day boot camp of learning new technology is going to challenge your inner childhood. It's going to challenge your pride. It's going to challenge your ego. It's going to challenge your way of learning. And there's so many different aspects of how this ChatGPT is going to help people out in so many different areas of their life, from their relationship, from their cooking, from their business, from everyday, questions and emails in their business, to where I encourage us all to really open up, this brain, open up these hands, and open up your mouth and ask questions, because those 3 things, if you keep those closed, that's going to be the most expensive thing that will hold you back. And your fear determines your future. And so I encourage you to not let that false evidence appearing real that we talk about, or what I share with people, focus energy, arranged to react. What you focus on is arranged and an energy that you react in life, and sometimes we need to respond more effectively in life, and that's having emotional awareness of who we are, what we are, and how we're being to others. And that's why I encourage us all to give more grace to yourself, which you will give to others. Have more integrity with yourself, and you will have it with others. And definitely give more love to yourself, and you will give it to others. So this technology, these ChatGPT is just the beginning. And we have to remember, we've had this technology forever, right? We've had this technology since 2000. What do you call grammar check? What do you call Alexa? What do you call Siri? What do you call, all these applications?
That's true. That's true. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
When we talk about, the 3D, and the one thing I want to say, Dr. Obi, is, we don't just do the video for you guys, the AI video. We actually help you create a 3D immersive environment, which you all have heard of, the metaverse. The metaverse is the future. We just saw that Apple came out with their Apple Vision Pro that's going to take the storm. We just saw Quest. The 3 is coming out. And so the metaverse is the future. And we provide 3D environments within metaverse that you all can showcase your services. You can showcase your brand. You can literally replace your Zoom. Where we're doing a masterclass after this one, to where we're going to be able to showcase that exact way, to where, your Zoom is outdated. It's about to be the next Blockbuster, to where, this is where we're moving into the future. And we've all been seeing it on TV right now. So back to you, Dr. Obi. I appreciate it, brother.
Wow. Professor David, that's what I call you now, the professor of videography. Congratulations on your anniversary, man. Yes, man. They need to give you a professorship immediately. When I saw your content, I'm like, oh my God. This guy is about to take over Hollywood and Nollywood combined with his videos. Congratulations on your anniversary, man. We pile up these years without even recognizing it. And thank you so much for what you are sharing. I personally look forward to your teaching on this video thing during this boot camp. I like comprehensive teaching as opposed to all just taking 1 second. So I'm going to give you the full time on that day. Do your thing. I will take my own notes, and then we can then all share. Thank you so much. Ellie, are you there now?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
All right. You want to share a little with us before we get into the business of the day, please? Go ahead.
Oh, yes, I can share with you. Firstly, can I say thank you very much for having me on board. Lovely connecting here. Well, I want to be grateful for, for today, for everything, for breathing, for being here. Sorry, I keep having this phone call coming in. Well, I'm grateful for everything here. And the topic of the room is amazing, which is power of ChatGPT. I think ChatGPT, I would say AI in general is the future. No matter how much we run away from it, it will still trickle back into our property, either through your gadget or through your sat nav or through anything we want to create. So let's embrace it, and let's take what Dr. Ope is sharing with us here, take it really, really crucial. Thank you very much for having me on board.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you for always coming in to support our rooms here. I announced to everybody last week or that come this June, we are going to start having our own rooms on this ChatGPT thing as a way of reaching other markets that even other people cannot reach. So I'm glad that just as we've been going around supporting other rooms, people are coming in here to also support this room. So thank you guys so much for being here. All right, for those of you who are watching us on Facebook, on Zoom, on Gist House and all, today we are going to be talking about grant writing service using ChatGPT. All I'm going to also do, as I've been doing, is just go over it on a what I call on a glossy level, because it is deep and there's so many prompts and stuff that I'm even private to that I can't share with you right now because they're not mine, and that I have learned in the process through my own coach, somebody I consider my #1 coach in this game right now. His name is Luis. Some of you know him, Luis Ferreira. That is my guy. That's the man that I model my own teaching about, because I've always been like that. But Luis is always very, very thorough, very detailed, and very, very, if you like, call it long-winded about his teaching. it takes you to Zoom, and it actually breaks it down beyond just talking or giving you AI tools, or just talking about what you can do. He actually breaks it down. And I was blown away when I attended his class, his master class, which as a member of his NFT club, which of course is a paying club that I subscribed to. It wasn't a lot of money. It was only $275, which to me is really nothing compared to the value that gentleman brings every day to this app. So I'm very happy to have paid for that little amount. So when he brings it like a no man's game. So even including giving us some prompts and some stuff to use. Because it's proprietary, I probably won't be able to share that with you, but I think I can get him to allow me to share it with my club members once we launch the paying club for Business 360 Success Club, which I'm going to be doing anytime soon. That way, it doesn't feel like I'm giving his intellectual property away, because I won't want to do that to him. But I will teach the best that I can teach you from my own personal research without necessarily giving you any of his proprietary information, because you also can learn some of this stuff. So let's look at business number 3 on day 4, grant writing service using ChatGPT. Like I told everybody from day 1, I am looking at this ChatGPT and this AI explosion from the point of view of you using it as a business, or from the point of view of Africans, Americans, British people interested in this, using it to increase their bottom line. And I do that without any apologies. I understand some people, their format is just to provide information, enjoy themselves, and that is great. I go to those rooms, I spend hours there. But the focus I am taking is that this AI and ChatGPT, you should be able to use it for your own financial breakthrough. You should be able to use it to do what you do better. So that's why I'm introducing 21 different businesses that you can start using ChatGPT with literally zero investment. So today we're going to be talking about grant writing service using ChatGPT, how you can establish a profitable grant writing business with the power of AI. And as I start, I want to restate again one more time. I do not claim to be an expert. I'm a student who is also teaching his own students. So if there's any part of what I have to say that you disagree with, it's okay. Just go do better research and then use that skill to make money. I'm happy. My own area is software. I'm not even writing grants for anybody, even though I'm writing some for myself now, but I don't plan to use it as a business where I'm going to charge people. But you should, if this interests you, you develop it further and then become a grant writer as a service and get paid lots of money for helping people to access grants that are everywhere, right? Some of you may not believe it, but every year, many grant giving organizations, they return money back to the donors because they don't have people to claim them. Even government have thousands and thousands and thousands of grants that are literally returned to the government every year. Now I'm talking about the US government, I'm talking about the British government, I'm talking about mostly the foreign governments. I don't know much about government giving grants in the Nigerian context of things. And I'm honest, I've not researched it. For all I know, they have it there. People are just not claiming it. And the main reason why people don't claim it is, number one, they don't know how to write grants. Number two, they don't know where the grants are. Number three, they cannot put together the documentation that the grant writing, the grant requires. In a place like US, for instance, it is not by who you know, it is by the quality of your proposal. The people who are administering grants for government, for parastatals, for NGOs, they have their rules. And if you can submit your application and it meets their criteria, more than likely you will get it. I'm hearing of guys, girls, ladies who are getting $100,000, $140,000 for stuff that you would think nobody will give them money for, but they submit the application. So this business actually could be very profitable, particularly for churches, for instance. How many will believe that there are millions of dollars every year that are earmarked for churches go back to government because nobody's claiming it? There's a lot of public service grants out there. So this is why the coming of ChatGPT and AI tools should be something to celebrate, because now things that are complicated, things that you don't think you can do, now with ChatGPT, you can literally get all this stuff done in a matter of days, if not hours. And that is what this is all about today. All right, how you can go into the business of a grant writing. You can use it to write grant for your own business, or you can use it as a service to write grants for those who require it. So what exactly is grant writing service as a business? It is a professional service offered to individuals, organizations, and businesses to assist them in securing funds and funding from various sources, such as government agencies, foundations, and philanthropic organizations. First, before I go on, I want to give a quick shout out to a gentleman called Eric Phillip. He's one of my managers. He's the one that put this PowerPoint together for me in less than 24 hours. I told him this morning, as a matter of fact, that this is what I want to talk about today. I just gave him guidelines of what I need the PowerPoints to be on. And in 5 or 6 hours, he did it. So thank you so much, Eric, for always being there, for being a solid guy. Yes, it's my staff, but there's some staff you give this thing in 1 week. They still haven't done it. And he's done a great job with this PowerPoint slides that all of you are seeing. I want to appreciate him. I don't know where he is. I know he's going to be one of those platforms right now. Thank you so much, Eric Phillip, for what you do. And if any of you need somebody to help you write great PowerPoints for your presentations, that's the guy you want. I'm probably going to charge you very little amount of money and give you something as awesome as this. So go look for Eric Phillip. If it's about doing PowerPoint slides or about doing research with ChatGPT, I call him my ChatGPT or guy right now, even though he's my protege. Anyway, so grant writing service is basically a professional service that you offer to individuals, organizations, or businesses to assist them in securing grants and funding from various sources, such as government agencies, foundations, and philanthropic organizations. So what a grant service business, a grant writing service business will do is to help people. We will aim to maximize the chances of successful grant acquisition by employing specialized knowledge, expert, and effective grant writing techniques. Now, for instance, I have my own spiritual mother in Lagos. When I'm done with all of this, I have to try and see if she can get one of our own people to learn this and get her grant. She has a heart for widows. Every month, she spends her own resources to take care of widows in her church. I'm talking literally thousands. Buy rice for them, buy clothes for them. But they've never made any application for grants, even though she's been doing this for maybe 7-10 years. That's what I'm talking about. Somebody can approach, somebody can offer to help her write a grant for it, and then you charge your fees. You can decide that you're going to charge for results. Give me 20% of what you get. That's the kind of move I will make, or 10% minimum. I'll go apply. If you get 100K, I get 10,000. Maybe ask for a very little amount of money to get them committed to start, something small that they can afford. All right. But so this service, you can do it anywhere in the world, from anywhere in the world. You can be in Nigeria and be helping a company or an organization in the USA to apply for grants in the USA. You got to think global now. Don't think that it has to be, your clients have to be in Nigeria. They don't have to be. I'm going to show you how to set up your business. And once you set it up, it's going to be like any other business. You're a grant writing service. You're going to have a Facebook page. You're going to have a website. You're going to have contact information for those who want to write grants to contact you. Nobody needs to know where you are even living. It's irrelevant because you are not going into the office to go look for the grant. You are writing the grant, you are submitting it, and you are following it up for them with the organization that gives the grants. If you even want to go that deep, your own business might be, I just want to write the grants. Your own might also include, I'll write the grants and I'll follow up on it for you for a certain fee. I hope you are getting that. If I'm still tracking with everyone here, can you just give me a 10 wherever you are? I want to be sure I'm actually tracking with you. Please, if you're on Clubhouse, give me a 10. If you're on Gist House, give me a 10. If you're on Zoom, give me a 10, please, in the chat box. I'd like us to interact on this stuff to be sure you are following me. Okay, great. I see that. Okay, very important to always take time to get feedback from the people you are supposedly training, so that I'm not just going on a frolic of my own. Okay, let's keep it moving. All right, so how do you use ChatGPT for grant writing? Remember, the three major problems that have been preventing people from being able to apply for the grants or to get the grants is: number one, they don't even know that there are grants available for them. They don't know where the grants are. Number two, they cannot write the proposal professionally for grants. Number three, actually it's four problems. Number three, they cannot put the accounting that is necessary together to be able to support their grant application. And then number four, of course, is for those who are offering as a service to offer their services. So it's three. And I'm telling you now, ChatGPT, and when I use the word ChatGPT, get me again, I'm more or less using AI generally. ChatGPT is a form of AI that deals mostly with text and now a video and even audio now. There are others like it, like Google Bard, B-A-R-D, bard.google.com. People are even saying that Google's Bard, the BRD, is actually better than ChatGPT. And to a larger extent, they might be correct, because ChatGPT mostly only has information up to September 2021. It doesn't have information of 2022 or 2023, unless you have the plugin as an expert user. But Bard, Google Bard, is current to today. And there are many other apps out there, many other AI tools that are current to today. If you go to Poll, I could go on and on and mention them, but I'm trying not to mention too many AI tools until I've gotten, until you guys get it, because I can just overwhelm you with too many tools. Towards the end of the presentation, I'm going to mention about 10 tools that you can use to make this better. But for now, just focus, let's focus on using just ChatGPT. Please help me out here. For those of you on Clubhouse, help me share this room in the hallway. Help me invite at least 10 or 20 of your friends. Let's make this thing fun for everybody. The same way for those of you on Gist House. I see many of you there now. Please share this. If you are watching this on Zoom, please share the link with your friends on your Facebook page, on your WhatsApp page. Let's bring as many of them in here as possible. Trust me, even if 1 million people start providing grant writing service, it's not going to stop your own money. Don't try to make this thing a closed room where you are doing gating and saying don't invite anybody here because you want to keep the information to yourself. Let's bring in people, please. All right, so how do you use ChatGPT for this? Number one of the first things you need to do, of course, as somebody who is in the business of writing grants, or a grant writer or a grant writing professional, is that you need to define your project goals and target audience when you are trying to write a proposal for somebody. In other words, you have to define the objectives, the scope, target audience for your grant proposal. You determine the specific outcomes and impact you aim to achieve with the grant funding. You need that information to be able to get the I lost my train of thought. I just saw a question here. So you need this basic information to be able to use ChatGPT to the best advantage, because you put the little information you have in ChatGPT and it will clarify for you. It will set it up right in a way that you cannot do it yourself. And we're going to go to practicals in a minute. You know, I like practicals. I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to show you exactly basic way you can use to write grants. I use it this morning to write a grant for something I'm working on. I'm not going to talk about that. And I was surprised how every part of it was able to do it for me in under 1 hour, while I was even having a meeting with somebody. So ChatGPT can help you with this. Now, of course, once you have decided, let's say somebody were to hire you, or you have to get somebody to let you write a grant for them, you have to select the AI language model that is suitable for your grant writing needs. I recommend ChatGPT. Is my own primary tool right now. I know there's many out there. I know there's more than 1,001 out there. You are just going to confuse yourself if you're trying to use 4 or 5 AI tools at the same time. All right. Most of them are using the same type of technology that is in ChatGPT, if they are not an API logging into ChatGPT, the language is very similar. So you don't need to be chasing all of them all over the place. Just get one or two. And because I'm teaching a no-cost business, I recommend you pick ChatGPT or Google Bard. Google Bard is free. It's bard.google.com. ChatGPT is chat.openai.com in case you happen to be in this room and you don't have ChatGPT already, which would be a crime, right? You go to chat.openai.com and you can create a free account. It is free. They have a paid version, but I'm encouraging you, don't pay for the paid version yet. That is too advanced. It's for advanced people. Just stay with 3.5. Version 3.5 is very okay. That's the one I am using. And I have the paid version. I have the 4.0. The few times I've used 4.0, I did not like. It was a bit complicated for me. It's taking me to a level I never reach. It's taking me to where I don't know, according to Nigerians. So I ran back to my 3.5, even though I'm gladly paying them that $20 a month. It's okay. I think they deserve that for that great tool that they gave me. But for you that you are just starting, it's actually helping you. Don't go and do over Sabi. Don't pay for the subscription until you know that you need it. Same thing with Google Bard. All right. So pick one of those two. But of course, you are at liberty to pick anyone you want. I'm just talking for those I'm training. Number 3 point we want to note is for you to get what you want, you're going to provide this ChatGPT with prompts or topic. Remember, prompt is the equivalent of keyword that you put on Google when you're searching. When you keep hearing this word prompt, it looks like it's some kind of magic. There's nothing magical there. It is just the language that people use to engage ChatGPT or Google Bard or all these language learning tools that we're all calling AI, even though technically people are saying that ChatGPT is not AI. I don't know what they mean by that. It looks like something that has intelligence to me as far as I can tell. But we are not going to get into that battle now. So you want to learn the prompts that has to do with grant writing. Some of them I'll provide as we are going, but I have a very comprehensive one that is really solid. But like I said, they're not mine. I got it from Luis Ferreira. And the only permission I will ask him when I set up my club, if he can give me permission to share it with them, because at that point, I'm not giving his intellectual property away for free without his permission. But you may not need that to still make the best of this business. Even though I encourage everybody, go look for Louis. I can't say enough good things about that guy. Everybody keeps saying, why are you mentioning this guy? Me, I'm a grateful guy. When I see a man that literally changed my perspective, my life concerning a project, I'll forever give him credit. It's Luis Estrella. Luis Estrella, E-S-T-R-E-L-L-A. I call him the godfather of prompting. I've not met anybody that can do prompting better than that guy. I'm not saying they're not out there, but I have not seen them. Not on Clubhouse, not on the internet, not anywhere. Louis, we kill it. And if you can join his group, his what is it called? His NFT group. It's only $275. I don't get paid commission for it, and I should. I've told him to give me an affiliate link. Because me, I don't like making money for others without collecting my share. It's against my religion. But he's my guy. He's my daddy in this business. I'll keep promoting for a while. But I've asked him directly, I want an affiliate link so that I can promote you to the whole world. But as they're paying you, me too, I also get paid. So I'm not hiding anything here. Anyway, keep going. So you're going to feed the chosen language model. In this case, we agree you should use ChatGPT or Google Bard with relevant prompts and topics related to your grant proposal. This can include sections such as project description, goals, methodology, budget, and anticipated outcomes. There are specific sections that need to be in any grant proposal. Whether you are doing it in the US, or you are doing it in the UK, or you are doing it in Australia, the beauty of it now is that ChatGPT can write all of them for you. And we are going to do it at the end of this presentation so that you see it's not hard. Even at my basic level where I don't have knowledge, I can make you see it. Then you grow from there. ChatGPT will write the project description for you. It will write the goals. It will write the methodology. It will write the budget. It will write the anticipated outcomes, as long as you can give it the right prompt to do it for you. And even though you are not an expert, you can model along until you get what you want. You just keep trying. When you give it an instruction and it gives you what you don't like, you give it another one. Eventually, you will figure it out. Don't let what you can't do stop you from what you can do. Don't allow yourself to buy into the idea that this thing is complicated. I'm telling you directly right now, it is not. It doesn't mean people are not worth the money they charge. When I'm ready, I'm going to charge plenty money. My grant writing masterclass that I'm going to do after I've tested it out with all of these, I'm going to charge. It's going to be like $297 for the course. This thing that I'm talking about now. I may not use this as a course itself. Once I'm done, I'm going to fine-tune again, fine-tune. Then eventually, I'm going to do a clean class on how to be a grant writer as a profession. It's not going to be free. So what I'm trying to tell you is that don't grudge those who are charging, whether they want to charge $1,000 or $10,000, is what they want to charge. But you don't need to hold yourself hostage if you don't have that money. Go learn, all right? So provide prompts or topics that you need on your grant, and we are going to go through that in a minute. Let me just write down some of this stuff's description. Your grant must have a description. It must have goals specified. It must have methodology describing your plan. It must have a budget, and it must have anticipated outcomes. Those are basically like 5 of the sections that must be in every successful grant. We are going to use ChatGPT to do it today. Let's keep going. All right. So once you have done that, once you have been able to prompt ChatGPT for the 5 or 6 sections that are critical for your grant, it's going to write it for you. Then the next thing you want to do, okay, again, I'm still doing general thing. Number 14, you have to do here is you have to review and edit the grant proposal. Don't be stupid. Don't just carry what it gives you and just start mailing it out to the grant companies. You have to review it, because sometimes ChatGPT can hallucinate and give you wrong information, especially when you are new and you are not a Louis Estrella, where you know how to gag it to make sure it doesn't mess up. You are going to mess up early. So you have to check it out. You have to edit it and refine the text to ensure that it aligns with your organization's voice. Now I'm talking about the organization you are writing for. If you are writing for widows, smiling widows, you want the proposal to speak in their voice. If you are writing for Nigeria Lives Matter, you want the proposal to speak in the voice of that organization. So you need to review it, you need to edit it, and you have to make sure that it addresses the specific requirements of the grant, because each grant will tell you their requirement. That's the key here. So if somebody says, I want you to write a grant for me for a motherless baby zone, and then you use ChatGPT to identify the grant organizations. Now you have to tell ChatGPT to explain to you what are their requirements, or you go to the website yourself and read, so that the grant that you are writing meets those requirements. Now you don't have to sweat, you don't have to go do too much research to write what they want. You just need to know what they want. And then make sure you prompt ChatGPT to give you all that information before you submit. Are you guys still tracking with me here? If you are still following me, give me a 4. If you are lost right now, give me a 0 so that I can repeat. All right. If you are tracking so far, give me a 4. If you are not, give me a 0. Okay, Lee Golden say I'm tracking. You don't need to talk so that we don't get echo right now. Mute yourself, pendulum or whatever. All right, just type for me. All right. Dr. Constance Ola is having 0. Interesting. I see a lot of people having 4. There is nothing I've said. If you are paying attention, you will get it. I know you are helping me to sensitize the room, but you should pay attention for yourself. All I'm saying is that after you have written your grant, and we haven't written the grant yet, we are going to write it. We identify 5 areas that we know every grant must have. The description of what you are doing. What are the goals that you want to achieve with what you are doing? What are the methodology? How do you want to do it? Then a budget. And then what are your anticipated outcomes when they give you this money? Those are minimum 5 stuff, 5 sections that need to be in a grant. What I've just said so far is that after you have used ChatGPT to write all that stuff, and we're going to demonstrate it live in a minute. You should still review what it has given you. That's what I'm talking about. This number 4, review and edit the generated grant proposal, because you're a professional. If you are charging an organization maybe 20% of the grant they get, or you are charging them a flat fee to write a grant for them, you are a professional. You are wearing suit and tie to go get the brief. So what you are going to submit to them must be professional. And I'm saying you have to review it to make sure that you have not been deceived by ChatGPT. Maybe the way you are prompting it, maybe the thing has gone into hallucination and you're not paying attention. Because it does. It did it to me several times, although not anymore, because before I start now, I give it some very, very clear Louis Estrella formula. Is what I call it. All right. That formula, make sure the thing doesn't mess around with me. And again, you are going to get some of that today. And if you're in my club, hopefully Louis will allow me to even release the raw text that he gave us to you as a gift to my club. I don't know, but I will ask him directly. So that's all I'm saying. Double check. You don't want to be like that lawyer that used ChatGPT to write a brief for court, a court of appeal case or something, a very important case. And unfortunately, he did not review it. It turned out that ChatGPT has put in some cases that don't exist inside that brief. It was a beautiful brief, legal brief, 27 pages or so. He went and submitted it to court. Now he's about to lose his license, because when the opponent started reviewing it, they realized that some of the cases cited were cases that do not exist. Even though he gave them the name of the case, he gave them some quotations from the judges. It's in California. Now they've arraigned him before the Bar Association to take away his license for lying in his proposal. Now he was begging yesterday. They were in court because I was following it bumper to bumper, and we were just now basically begging the court to have mercy that he was negligent in reviewing. Don't be like that, because he just went and used it without knowing the right prompts well. And then after the ChatGPT has finished writing, he did not do due diligence to personally check out all those cases that were cited. I would do that. I'm encouraging all my lawyers to do that. I'm training my paralegals to use ChatGPT for their work, but I'm impressing on them. After he gives it to you, you better double check it with the law. If he gives you a quotation, go check that it is true. If he gives you a case, take the time to go look at the case yourself, that what it says the case says is what it says. So that's what I'm saying about here. Enough. Hopefully, you get a number 5. You need to test and optimize the proposal for better performance. So you have to, what I call iteratively refine and optimize the grant proposal by testing different variations, evaluating their effectiveness, and incorporating feedback from your peers or subject matter experts. The beauty of this is that ChatGPT will be able to do this for you. Just need to put it back in there. In other words, the big writing that you might have to do if you are not using AI, that will take you days and months to refine and optimize your proposal, is gone now, because you can refine and optimize it literally within a day by testing different variations. You just take a variation, you give it to ChatGPT, he writes a whole new one for you in seconds. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Now, again, hold on a second here, guys. Just hold your questions for a few more minutes. Let me finish this masterclass, and then we'll go into the discussion. Number 6, you have to leverage AI for supportive tasks. Obviously, that's what this is all about. That's why I say how to go into the grant writing business using ChatGPT or AI, because now you can, and you should. So you have to use ChatGPT to assist you with supporting tasks that has to do with your grant writing activity. For instance, proofreading. Now you don't have to submit a proposal that is full of all those Ijebu grammar, that is full of bad tenses, bad grammar. All of that you can do in a matter of seconds. Simply post your finished grant there and tell it to edit it for grammar, for tense, and all of that. In 5 seconds, it gives you a perfectly edited one. So you should use it for that. It's suggestions. Structure of your proposal. You tell it to structure it for you in a certain way, it will structure it for you. You tell it to structure your application as if you're applying for a loan in a bank, it will structure it for you. That you should make as a note. Again, I'm giving you checklists to have when you start doing this stuff. Number 7, before we go into the deep end right now, I want to be very clear. Maintain ethical considerations. I don't teach anything that is not ethical. You got to do it right if you want to have a long business. Remember, this is a business you are going into. People are going to be paying you money to do this for them. You are going to be using it to get money for your business. So when you are utilizing AI technology like ChatGPT, it is very important to maintain ethical practices. You must ensure that the generated content accurately represents your organization's values, avoids biases, and complies with ethical guidelines in grant writing. Don't go and do jailbreak prompts to write your grants. If some of you know what that is, if you don't, maybe I should not tell you. All right. So don't use that. Be ethical. That's all I'm going to say. Now let's start getting a little bit deeper, and then we're going to go into some practicals in a minute. Where do you get the grants using ChatGPT? Remember, the first thing you have to know is where to get the grants, which is a problem for many of us right now. But with ChatGPT now, that problem goes away. Take a David, my good friend, who is not even doing non-profit business. That level of videos he's doing. There must be some grants out there in the world where they give people like him money to do what he's doing. It's just the way it is. I was surprised to see that a lot of grants out there for things that are even business-based. Because in my head before, I used to think that to apply for grant, what you are doing must be voluntary, must be free, or must be public charity. No, it's not true. Lots of for-profit businesses are collecting grants every day, just like those in the pharmaceutical industry. If you tell government, if you have a lab right now that is trying to find cure for COVID or any of all those things they are mentioning, they are throwing money away like candy. They were doing it during the COVID era. All you need to do is tell them you have a lab, put some lab together and show them some doctors in there and have a plan about you are trying to find cure for COVID. People are applying for $1 million, $2 million, and they were getting it, even though they were not a non-profit organization. Why? Because government policy was looking for solutions in that area. The government policies, especially in a place like America, let me speak for that I know, that want to encourage culture among blacks, among foreigners, among Indians, and they have grants for it. So whatever you are doing, you can get grant for it if you know where to look. So the first question is, how do you get these grants? Or how do you find a place where these grants are available for your clients? Number 1, you can research that grant databases now in mere seconds. Before, it is a tough thing to do. Louis, for instance, has 900 grants compiled already that he gave to us. Obviously, I'm not going to give it to you. It's not my property, but you can get it. He also use ChatGPT to get it. So there's nothing mysterious about that. You can use ChatGPT to generate your own. So tap into the power of ChatGPT to research grant databases and platforms. Provide prompts to ChatGPT, such as your organization's focus area, industry, or project type, and then ask it to generate a list of potential opportunities. For instance, we are going to do it later, but this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. I want to finish my presentation on PowerPoint before we go into messing with ChatGPT directly, okay? And then take these questions. Let's say, let me use my friend too, because he's still here. Let me just harass him a bit. Let's say David now is creating basically 3D type of videos with the assistance of AI technology in a way that is very different from what people are used to. He can start, let's say he wants to look for grants for that. All he will do is describe to ChatGPT, I'm in the process of creating this type of videos for this type of industry. I need you to generate a list of the top 20 grant writing organizations that have grants for this type of project in America. That's a prompt. ChatGPT will do in under 30 seconds. It's going to generate those websites. We are going to do it in a minute. So you don't need to go be searching Google. You don't need to be sweating it out. Then when it gives you those websites, you can actually tell it to narrow it down. One, to give you all the website that you can find them, the phone number, their phone numbers, and the grant specialists in that area. I did that on BARD. When I did it on ChatGPT, he just started by saying, I'm an artificial intelligence, kinikon. I don't have any information beyond 2021, but he still gave me what he has. But Google BARD was insane. I mean, giving you the phone number and the contact number for a grant organization that was set up less than 9 months ago. That's when you will fear. It will get you the emails, it will get you the phone numbers. What you are probably not going to get easily on Google. Google BARD will give it to you. And there are even deadlier AI tools now that I don't really want to go into that will go in there and get to this granular information. So your problem is no longer finding where these grant databases are. You tell ChatGPT. If you are doing things to do with motherless babies, you tell them I have a project that is taking care of motherless babies. I need you to list for me the top 100, the top 50, the top 20. Typically, I like to start with 20. The top 20 organizations that have funds available to give to people who are doing projects to do with motherless babies. In fact, I will even narrow it, which is even better, in Nebraska or in the US, or mention your state, because it will then give you a much more granular list of people that are actually looking for grants from people in your state. That's a prompt. That's what they call prompts. It's not rocket science. Just tell it what exactly you are looking for. And if you want to do it even better, you can Google and say, okay, prompts for applying for grants. Some people have created these great fonts and they have put it out there in the space. Or still on this A, you can ask ChatGPT. I am in the business. I have an organization that takes care of motherless babies. What prompt do I need to give you for you to get me the organizations that are giving grants in this area? Just in case you don't even know what to tell it. ChatGPT will give you the prompt to give it so that I can give you what you want. How hard can that be? You ask the thing itself, what do I tell you to get me what I want? And then it will respond to you. This is what you type, this is what you tell me, and I will give you what you want. Okay? Now, you can also explore. The first one is for you to get grant databases. And by the way I see it, even as an information product, there's a market for that. If you have a list like Louis did, and he's selling it, and I don't blame the man, that's why I can't give you his list, right? If you put together a list of 500 grant writing organizations, and you break it down by sections, by industry, that's a book a lot of organizations will even pay you money for. Meanwhile, you can use ChatGPT to write that. Something on that basic level. Because if I see in there, a list of grants for internet marketers, you don't think I will buy? You have internet marketers, you have a motherless baby, you have just different sections. That by itself is a book that you can sell on Amazon anywhere and people will pay you money. But we are talking about going to the business of it. So I'm not even talking about book. Book was 2 days ago, right? Let's come back to where we are. So you can search grant databases and platforms to get the list of organizations like your focus area, industry, project area, and generate a list of potential grant opportunities. ChatGPT will do it for you in 1 minute or less. Just ask it. I'm in the casino business. I'm in the internet marketing business. I'm in the fashion industry. And I'm trying to do this. Tell you the project you're trying to do to benefit society. Remember, people give grants. They use it to, they give it in order to encourage some policy areas that are of interest to them. So you have to be able to describe the area of that industry that is of interest to the society you want to provide. And then you tell ChatGPT, give me a list of potential grant opportunities in this area of project. If you understand that, give me an A. Just want to be sure I'm carrying it along. If you're on Clubhouse, please give me an A in the chat box. If you're on Zoom, we have almost 100 people, it's something people on Zoom right now. Give me an A. If you are Gist House, we have just about 18 people in Gist House now, which is not bad. We typically don't have a lot of people in these rooms. Give me a 4 in your chat. Sorry, an A rather. Give me an A in the chat, just to be sure you guys are still following me. If you can still hear me, because sometimes the audio just goes off. Can you guys still hear me in Gist House? You know I'm partial. Okay, you know I'm partial to you. You are my people. And I don't get inheritance for Clubhouse. My inheritance is in Gist House. So let me focus on that one. Okay, great. Everybody's responding. I love that. Okay, let's move on. Of course, as you can use it, you can use ChatGPT to explore databases for organizations. Same way you can use to explore government grant programs. In fact, those are the best. So they have that money that they voted for it. The National Assembly already earmarked that money. They have to spend it, or it's going to go back to the budget for next year. So leverage ChatGPT to explore government grant programs at local, regional, or national levels. ChatGPT can help you identify relevant government agencies, their funding initiatives, and the specific ability, specific eligibility criteria. Because many of us, sometimes you know that this is a grant organization or even some government agencies, but you don't bother to find out what is their focus for this year, because they will give you money based on their focus. I didn't realize that for a long time. If a government has not budgeted for something, I don't care how good your proposal is, they're not going to give you the money. If they have not had a policy in a certain area, it don't matter how close the person is to you, unless he wants to steal government money, he cannot give you grants. A lot of people don't know that. So the smart guys who get money from government, you know what they do? Immediately the government issues his policy paper for next year or his budget for the year for the next year. They go and read it and focus on the area and then zero in on the area of focus. Take Nigeria, for instance. Now that I know better, when an Asiwaju brings us his budget, because me, I'm interested in the tech area, I'm interested in the digital empowerment. I want to go read what have they provided for that. So that if you're trying to get some of that money yourself, then you need to give the government what the government wants. You submit your proposal or submit proposals for people based on that. I'm talking to those of you living in Nigeria. I'm not likely to come and look for anything in that country, at least not now. But that money is going to be spent on something. Okay? If you're abroad, even better, because they are very structured. Use ChatGPT to get you what are the, when it identifies a program for you as a funding organization, you can then probe it further. That what are their funding initiatives for this year? Or go to their website to go and see what they're focusing on for this year before you start writing grants for your clients or for yourself. There is no point collecting money from an organization or from somebody to write them a grant when there is no allocation for it for that year, even though it's a grant giving organization. Hope you get that. Number C, you can also get this by engaging with non-profit directories. That's the beauty of ChatGPT and the explosion in the internet. Before, to get access to these non-profit directories is early. Some of them they don't make it something that is easy for you to get, and you don't even know what exactly to search for on Google. But with ChatGPT now, you can be specific and it will bring it for you. In this area of motherless babies, can you give me the directory of the top 100 organizations that offer grants or funding opportunities aligned with this project? See, ChatGPT is amiable. It doesn't know, it doesn't have emotion. He'll give it to you. And if ChatGPT memory is too small, go to Google Bard and maybe a couple of other AI tools that are even much more dialed into giving you granular information There are several of them, I don't know them off right because deliberately I try not to memorize AI tools names because they just distract me. I know I can't stop myself from going there to go buy it. So I try not to memorize. I write it down, then I give it to my assistant to go and research and then sign up for my affiliate link there. And then when I'm ready, I can then be giving that for those who want to go there. So, but you can search yourself too. There's plenty of them. Okay, let's keep moving. Of course, ChatGPT can also help you identify community development programs. That's number D now, that provide grants. So all you need to do is provide prompts related to the geographic area or community needs. And ChatGPT will assist you in generating a list of programs that offer funding support. For instance, let's say you live in Omaha, Nebraska. You can then ask ChatGPT now that I am in the area of providing assistance to old people. And I want you to identify community programs that have grants for this kind of activity in the city of Omaha, in the state of Nebraska. It will bring it out for you. And when it brings it out, you can then take it one by one or ask it to that for this list you have created, I want you to include the website where I can get them, the phone number, and where you can find it, the name of the program manager that I need to submit my proposal to. In 5 seconds, ChatGPT will give you. I dare you to try it after today. It is that simple, okay? So you solve that first problem. Remember, I mentioned 3 problems for providing grant service. Where are the grants? Who has the money? How can I find them? That is the part I've just covered now. Okay, I'm still covering. There's an E part. Of course, you can also stay updated with grant newsletters and platforms using ChatGPT. So you can use ChatGPT to discover grant newsletters and platforms. It will recommend for you websites that provide regular updates on grant opportunities, ensuring that you stay informed about new funding opportunities. Remember, you are a grant writing professional now. That's what we're teaching. It's a business. I'm approaching all these tools from the business angle, not just to talk for the sake of talking to let you know. I'm showing you how you can use it. As a professional grant writer, typically, as a professional, you want to subscribe to magazines and newsletters in your field if you're a self-respecting professional. Me, as a lawyer, I subscribe to at least 4 different legal newsletters. There's Law 360. You actually pay for it in the law firm. I think it's $197 a month or something. But it's a great subscription because while new cases that are just blowing up, that has not even been published everywhere, maybe Supreme Court just made a decision. By the time we wake up, we already got a summary of it and references to go check it. Why? Because we're professionals. So also as a grant professional, you also want to subscribe to grant newsletters and platforms. Thank God for ChatGPT. All you need to ask it, can you please list the top 10 grant newsletters and platforms that provide up-to-date regular information on grant opportunities? You click enter, ChatGPT will give it to you. There, you can then pick 2 or 3 from those newsletters, then go and subscribe and use your email to get alerts. That's another way ChatGPT is going to be helping you to become a solid professional grant writer. Let me reset. For those just joining us, this is day 4 of the ChatGPT monetization bootcamp. I decided I was going to do a 21-day bootcamp to sensitize people to the little that I know and to get people to know different businesses they can start with 0 investment using ChatGPT. It is mostly directed at those who are struggling to be financially free or those who just want to create another extra income using this AI and ChatGPT explosion. My goal is that by discussing 21 of them, all of us will have 2, 3, or 4 that we can get into as a side hustle that can then give us a little business. On day 1, we talked about commercial book authoring as a business. How you can actually turn writing books now into a business in itself that makes you money every month. If you missed that, that's day 2, sorry. Day 1 was general information. So day 1, we talk about the first business. Day 2, which was yesterday, I touched on how you can use affiliate and you can use AI and ChatGPT to help with your affiliate marketing business. We talk about how you can use it to write emails. We talk about how you can use it to write ad copies, how you can use it to write posts on social media and all. So today that you are watching us, we are discussing grant writing business with ChatGPT, how you can get involved in that process. And I'm in the process of explaining how you can use ChatGPT to solve the key problems that is preventing people from being able to access grants and preventing grant writers from being able to make a lot of money in the business. The first one is, where do you find the grants? Where are the grant writing where are the places where the money is in? And I'll spend the last 30 minutes or so explaining that. Now we move on. All right. Now, if I just have a few websites here before we go into, again, use ChatGPT to get you even more robust. We have over, like I said, over 900. But I'm sharing just a few that are popular so that you can find even on Google for now. There's grants.gov. There's Foundation Center, foundationcenter.org. They offer comprehensive information on private foundations, corporations giving programs, and grant opportunities. Their website is foundationcenter.org. And of course, the one for the US government is grants.gov. They have literally hundreds, if not thousands, of grants there. Now that you have ChatGPT that will help you to write the grants and will help you process the grants and help you follow up on the grants, then you are ready to be in the business. Okay, here is some more. Guidestar.org. This one will give you information about the financial data and grant opportunities that you can use to prompt ChatGPT to give you better opportunity, a better proposal to approach them. There's grantstation.com. For those of you who are writing, I'll go through it quickly so that we're not wasting much time on that. Just a second here. Grantgolfer.com. Now, before I go into promoting your grant business, which is, because I wanted to talk about, I guess that's what we're going to do, the practical side, because I wanted us to actually address the 5 major areas of a grant, of a grant proposal, so that you can know how to use ChatGPT to get it ready for any of your clients or for yourself if writing grants is something that is of interest to you. But let's talk about how to promote your grant writing business for a minute. Okay, so you want to consider leveraging some of these platforms. I just want to show you how to get into the business, but then how do you sell it? How do you make money? So let me make a detour right here because I'm all about marketing first. All right. Okay. Now there are several sites you can leverage your business. Let's say you decide to be in the grant writing business. I'm just going to give you just 5, but you can ask ChatGPT to give you 100 if you want. Okay. Upwork.com. If you go there, there are lots of people who are offering their services as grant writers. All you need to go in there is to create an account and call yourself a grant writer, describe yourself around grants for these industries. Look at some of the grant writers' profiles and then poundo it. I have something I tell my students, I call it the poundo style. I've always used it. Some people don't like it, but I don't care. Poundo style is you don't have to invent the wheel. Look at what somebody's already doing that is successful and then use it as inspiration to do your own. So if you want to register on freelancer.com or any of those sites, what you want to do, look at the profiles of other professional grant writers there and then use inspiration for the ones that are doing well. You're going to know on those sites. How many jobs have they gotten to write grants for? How many grants have they written in their career? You're going to see it. Take the one that has written a lot of grants and has had a lot of jobs as a grant writer, and then poundo his profile. Poundo means copy it in a respectable way. Don't be an idiot. Don't copy it 100% and put it on yourself. Use it as an inspiration to write your own, even if you don't know how to write a profile. It's called the poundo system, poundo style. You don't need to invent the system. Look at what somebody is doing that is already successful. Then use it as inspiration to write your own. Okay, so here are the sites: grantwriterteam.com, grantwatch.com, grantwriterpro.com. These are websites where you can promote your services as a grant writer, because that is where those who know, who want to write grants, who are trying to hire grant writers, that's where they go, so that you can position yourself to be somebody that can be hired. That's just one of the ways to market your services as a grant writing professional. I'm not going to go into the social media part where you need to post about yourself, you need to give testimonials, you need to do all of that stuff. All of that we can develop further in the club. Otherwise, it will take too long. But that it is crucial for you to have your profile on this, right? And you guys know my style too. I'm about being prolific. You don't have to be good. If you are prolific, you will make money, especially as a rookie just starting. What does that mean? Don't just put your profile on one freelancing site. Decide I'm going to put my profile as a grant writer on at least 20 grant-related sites where people come to look for professional grant writers. That is being prolific. It's like putting your advert in 20 markets. What people do is that they do only one, then they complain 1 year later, oh, nobody has hired me, nobody has given me a job. You are a nobody yet. And I don't say that negatively. I was a nobody when I started my own business too. So you need to be prolific. If you don't have the following year, search ChatGPT, tell it to give you 20 grant-centric websites where grant writers list their services and where those who are looking for grant writers go to look for them. That's a prompt. ChatGPT will give you 20. Then when it gives it to you by name without putting that website, you tell it, I need you to include the full website URL of these places where I can list my services as a grant writer. ChatGPT will come back and give you the exact websites. All you need to do is click on it, go create your profile. And once you have created one, you can create 20. To start with, that's where you start. Before you even take your matter to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very big place where you're going to get companies, because they have a lot of CEOs there who will hire you to write grants for them if you position yourself as a grant writer on your profile, meaning that you have to clean out many other stuff that is on your profile. You want them to see you as an expert professional grant writer. And I would recommend try to write 1 or 2 before you start positioning yourself out there, so that you use it to test and to see the problems. Because it might sound easy as I'm explaining it. So you need to try to practicalize first before you collect anybody's money. Okay? You might look for somebody that you think what they are doing deserve a grant, and you can do it as a free service. Or maybe you tell them, okay, I'm going to go apply for you. I'm doing this for the first time, but if it gets granted, I want 10%, I want 20%. That's it. And then you actually go there and do. You have not collected anybody's money, so nobody can call you a scammer tomorrow if it doesn't work. Try and follow it from beginning to the end. Once you are satisfied that you can do this, you can write the grants, then you can list your services. And remember then also, as a professional grant writer, you don't even have to be the one following up the grant for them. Your own is to write grants. It's like a business plan writer. They write you a business plan. Whether you make money with your business or you don't make money with your business, that is your problem. So you can decide that that's where you want to be. You just want to write professional grants. And when you write it, you give it to your client, then your client is on their own what they do with it. Or you can decide that you are a full, what they call a full stack grant writer. You write the grant for them, you charge for that, then you're going to help them submit it in 20 or 30 grant writing places, and then you're going to follow up with them. And when the grant is granted, you're going to collect a certain percentage as your fee. And then you have a contract. Or you're going to collect so much amount if they don't want to pay you percentage. Right? So we will come back to marketing of it later, because that can take a whole day, a whole year even. Marketing is a never-ending job when it comes to marketing your service. All right, so you create a profile, hold on. You create a profile on those platforms for grant writing jobs and apply for projects that align with your skills. Now I'll give you some tools and we go and practicalize those five things that need to be in a grant. We're going to write a grant right now on this call, and then so that you get an idea how to get it written, at least from the little I know. I'm not Luis Estrella, but the little I know, I teach you. You go develop and get yourself better if this is an industry that interests you. Don't come and tell me tomorrow, Dr. Kwe did not teach me all of this. I'm only teaching you the little I know, myself, na rookie like you. I'm just trying my best for my followers and my proteges who are relying on me to at least help them figure some of this stuff out. Okay, hold on, somebody. Oh, there's a black patch covering what? Somebody said there's a black patch somewhere. Are you guys not seeing my presentation well? I'm talking about those on Zoom now. Guys, can you see my screen very well, or there's a problem? If you can see it well, give me a 10. If you can't see it well, give me a 0. Come on, guys, let's be quick. There are some who are not even seeing anything. There are people on Clubhouse who are happily listening. They don't see anything, but they're happy listening. Okay. Say to aim like showing randomly. I don't know what that is. Maybe I need to minimize this. Hold on a second. Don't even know. All right. I think just do your best. Even if there's a black something flowing, try not to let it disturb you. All right. Is there say a black patch now? Maybe you are seeing my chat. Let me. I think everything should be clean by now, right? Okay. So let's talk quickly about 10 AI tools and resources to help you start, and then we go and actually write the grant itself. Remember, ChatGPT helps you with the 3 areas: identifying grants, writing the grants, and basically also writing the business plan or the account, the budget that goes with it. We're going to do that in a minute, but let me give you some tools. Just like some people say, again, I'm not happy doing it yet because I don't have my affiliate tools in there, but let's give it to you anyway. 10 AI tools to help you do this, okay? Grammarly, grammarly.com. I've told Eric when he's preparing slides for me, please, next time, make sure it is my affiliate link that you put as a link for them to go. AI360tools.com/Grammarly is what I expect it to be. All right, but here is what it is. Grammarly will help you to enhance your grant proposal with an AI-powered writing assistant. They've included a very powerful AI in it now to help you catch grammar and spelling errors, improve sentence structure, and ensure clarity. You may or you may not go get it. Personally, I don't think you need it. I think ChatGPT can do all the work, but that's me. But you have it. If you want to go spend money on it, then go for it. Number 3, Canva. This one is very important. Canva will create visually appealing and professional grant proposal templates, infographics, and presentations using Canva's AI-powered design tools. That to me is one of the best designing tools out there right now. You are going to need it to complement your proposals with eye-catching graphics. I don't trust. I hear ChatGPT can do graphics. I've not been able to do it. I've not even tried. There's Midjourney. For instance, Midjourney is great, but it takes learning. You have to go learn Midjourney, because Midjourney, you speak to it, and then, like God, it gives you picture. But what you speak to it has to be very specific, has to be very detailed. So he has his own learning a way to be able to do a great picture on Midjourney. I myself, I did one. I didn't like the way it looks. I'm not ready. I wasn't ready to go deep into learning it because graphics doesn't interest me, at least for now. I'm not going to lie. I can write 24/7. I can read 24/7, but I don't want to be doing pictures. But if you don't have money, then go learn Midjourney so that you don't have to pay people to do graphics for you that are original. Okay? So, but if not, Canva is also great. George, please stop. I'm not repeating any slide for you. I'm going to have to remove you because it's distracting me. That's the second time you're asking. Just follow, okay? Canva is a good tool for designs. Everybody's using it. I've used it. I'm subscribed to Canva, even though I don't even do a lot of designs myself. I only use it when I get impatient. Maybe Muti, who is my designated designer, is slow or telling me one story about NEPA or no NEPA. Then I just go there and design what I need to do. So it's a great tool for designing. And they are putting some AI tools into it now that is crazy. You should check it out for your grant business. Then there is Zotero, which can manage your research sources and generate citations and bibliographies effortlessly. Okay, it's an AI-powered reference management tool. Again, this is for top-level guys. If you really want to take this grant writing profession as a very serious matter, it's something you should check out. But I'll keep reiterating, you have enough in ChatGPT and Google Bard that you'll be okay. You might not be top level, but in a land or in an area where there are very few grant writers, your knowledge of ChatGPT will put you in the top 1%. I've seen them on Fiverr, I've seen them on freelancer.com. There's no biggie with them. Unless they all start using ChatGPT now, you can be as good, if not better, within a week, even without most of these tools. But it's good to check it out. And I only encourage you to pay for the ones that you really believe you are going to be using. There's no need throwing your money away. All right? You don't have enough of it, is why you're here. So, but if you need it to be able to take your design level to a different, your grant business to a different level, please go for it. Number 4, proposal kits. This one will allow you to access a comprehensive collection of pre-written grant proposal templates and samples provided by proposal kits, saving you time and effort in creating proposals from scratch. This is not bad, because then if you really don't want to start going through the 5 or 6 sections of a professional grant proposal, you can actually cheat, or let me not use not a negative word. You can actually speed up your competency by going to proposalkit.com and getting a grant sample or template. Leverage, thank you, Shegun. You can leverage yourself by going to proposalkit.com and getting a grant in the area that you want to write grant in, especially if they do have one. If they don't, you can rely on ChatGPT from 1 to 0. So you can get that template, and then you can be feeding that to ChatGPT to then customize to your specific proposal that you want to write. That is the beauty there. So you want to check it out. I think it's a great tool to have as part of your grant writing business. Number 5, Trello. This will help you to organize your grant writing projects, collaborate with clients, and track progress using Trello's intuitive project management tools. Obviously, when you are managing, okay, this one, if you're going to go there, I want to encourage you, please go there with the website ai360tools.com/Trello. That's, I'm always very transparent. If you were to go to that site with ai360tools.com/Trello, and you decide, oh, I want this tool is good for me, and you buy whatever you pay them, they're going to pay me a commission as the affiliate who introduces it to them. I am transparent like that, and you shouldn't have to grudge me, because your money is not going to increase or reduce whether you use my affiliate link or not. You're still going to pay exactly the same amount. Then why not reward me as the person who introduced you to them? So please, if you're going to go check this thing, check out ai360tools.com/Trello. It is a grant management software, which you can't do with ChatGPT. Obviously, if you're managing projects, you need a project management software that is a grant-centric, so that you can manage several clients and all of that. I think that's a great software to have. Remember, I tell you the one I don't think you need to have, and I'm telling you the one I think you should have if you have the money. If you don't, do what you got to do. Manage your project in your head or using Microsoft Word. It's all good. Once you start making money, you can then decide where you want to go. But I like it. ai360tools.com/Trello. I will take you to Trello. All right. MailChimp, this one is creates professional newsletters. They also have added some elements of AI into their platform. The MailChimp of today is not what it was last year. It's like a kind of an email marketing tool, where if you want to start marketing for customers, or you want to keep in touch with your customers, it's good to have an email marketing software. And MailChimp is as good as any. I personally use Aweber as my primary one. I'm not going to lie to you, but MailChimp I hear is cheaper and it's also very good. I've used them before. If I still have an account on MailChimp.com, but typically I go with Aweber and I use MailChimp and GetResponse as my backup email service. They're just sentimental towards Aweber. They're more expensive than others, but I've been using them for over 10 years. And I just like to use to keep what is working. That's my own. Doesn't mean they are better. It's just what I'm used to. So check this out. Number 7, SurveyMonkey is also good. Again, all these softwares, you don't have to buy them. If you don't have to, you don't really need them immediately. So don't think I'm just giving you software for the sake of it, okay? It helps you to gather feedback from your clients and measure customer satisfaction using the AI-powered survey platform. They have an AI-powered platform that can help you to get feedback and from your clients. So it's something good for you to check. This one, they have not put my link on it yet, and hopefully Eric and Co will finally catch up with me as I'm moving on this bootcamp. But it's something to check out, surveymonkey.com. HubSpot. Obviously, if you want to be a serious business person, you need to have something to manage your client relationship, track leads, automate your sales and marketing processes. And HubSpot has got an AI-powered customer management part of it, a CRM, as part of what they do. So it's something to check out as part of your arsenal for your grant writing business. Some of these softwares, if you even get them, you'll be able to use them for different businesses that we're going to be talking about over the next few days. All right, so that's all I want to talk about in terms of softwares that you might need, but your primary software should remain ChatGPT or Google Bar. So I'm going to summarize that. Subscribe to grant newsletters. We talk about that. Follow grant-related blogs and websites. If you're a professional, you should do that. If you don't know who they are, tell ChatGPT to tell you. List the top 10 best grant-related blog and websites. It will list it for you. And then you check them out and follow the ones that you want to follow so that you can be up to date. You can know what's going on. You can know where some money is somewhere, where some money is not. That way it helps you. You should join grant writing communities and forums. And of course, you should attend grant writing conferences and workshops if you want to be a true professional, because it is by attending those workshops that you create relationships, that you create a network. See, like they always say, your net worth is your network. Your network is your net worth. And it is true in every profession. So if you want to dabble into grant writing as a profession, then you should be on the lookout to attending conferences and workshops in those areas. Then, of course, you should utilize social media for real-time updates. Okay, that is what I want to talk about in terms of the formal training. Now we are going to go into practicalizing your, let me stop sharing my screen, and then we go to work. Let me bring up my ChatGPT account and let's get to it. All right, now let me take some questions before we actually go into, we actually start using these to write grants, because we're going to do it. What's the point of learning and you can't practicalize? I don't believe in that. That's why I brought it to Zoom. And that is why those of you on Clubhouse or who are on Gist House, we will still try to do as much as possible to make sure you catch it. And then we can then have the conversation. The conversations are very important to have on this, on Gist House and Clubhouse on this topic, because I know many of you are going to have questions. All right. So if you have a question, you want to come up stage, whether you're on Clubhouse or Gist House or on Zoom, type your questions on Zoom for me, then I can bring you on stage, or let me know you want to speak, then I will make you a co-mod so that you can then come up here and ask your questions formally. So if you'd like to talk, please raise up your hand, please, so that I can bring you up, please, before we go to the practicals of this. No questions, no observations. This is the part I hate most about teaching. You speak for almost 2 hours. I've spoken for about 1.5 hours now. 90 minutes as promised. Now, question time. Nobody has any question. What kind of training is that? Okay, I see several people say they have questions. Okay, let me bring you guys up. Where is the... I'll focus on the Zoom people now, since those who are listening have no questions. Then later, you have to raise up your hand so that I can know who you are, please. All right, I'll bring you up with me. Okay, I see Gideon Etuk. I see Adiola Awogbemi. I see Chioma. I'm going to bring you guys up. I'm trying to form a queue here that will allow you. Let's now have our conversation on Zoom, since my listeners on Clubhouse and Gist House prefer to just listen, then let them keep listening. All righty. Please, you have to accept. I'm promoting you to panelists. You got to accept it so that you can be a panelist, please. You should see a button that says promote to panelists, and then try to put on your video so that we can see you. Actually, I have the gallery on. So where are you guys? Okay. All right, I see. All right, hold on, guys. I'm trying to bring you up here. There you go. Please accept. I'm making you guys co-hosts so that you can be on stage with me. That works. All right, where are you then? I'm not seeing them. I think I've authorized 4 people. Guys, you need to unmute yourself.
I'm here.
All right, Chama, I see you. Please go ahead. Hopefully you guys can put on your video so that we can see you all. All right. Thank you. I see you. All right. I see Chama.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm still muted. Oh, sorry. I'm the one that is not talking. Okay. Oh, sorry. All right.
Okay. I'm happy to see you. My name is Chioma Ofonagolo. I'm the founder of Amazon Foundation. You know, I told you I was still in the round table.
All right.
I'm getting there small. Don't worry, I'm going to invite you to a national program very soon.
All right.
This is like an eye opener. I just discovered ChatGPT before now, but you're going deep. In fact, I've been writing and as if I'm in school.
I'm always a deep guy. That's why some people don't like it.
You're my guy now. I'm learning a whole lot. Yes. Being that we have a foundation, learning how to write grant ourselves, not looking for whoever that will write for us is a top notch for me. It's kind of if you look at you will see my vision board. I told you I was seeing the round table. So whenever I look at it, whenever I look at my vision board, I say yes. And this is good for me now. So now I don't have to look for. I've even started the practical. It's even showing me Google Bard. It's even showing me the companies, everything. I don't.
Yes, it's what I said. Now.
I'm telling you, it's showing me the picture, the everything, everything in my system now. So it's like I don't know how to say. Thank you so much. I appreciate this. So my question is this: yes. In grant writing, how do you specify? Like we are into farming. How do you get a specific answers to a particular grant you want to write.
What?
And can just how can you be specific? Like our foundation is in farming.
Okay.
And most times I don't see other foundations that are into farming. So how can we be specific in our questions, and how can we follow as in stage by stage, how to use ChatGPT to follow stage by stage to see how your grant is going?
All right. Very good question. That's why we are saying we're going to do practicals. I'm trying to clear the screen because it's saying that I'm short of resources time because there's so many things open on my system. But I'm going to clear the screen now, and then we're going to share the screen, and we're going to look at this thing. There is no, like I said, there is no, where is it? Okay, Google. So there's no mystery there. We're going to go to Google Bard and we're going to go to ChatGPT. We're going to test both of them. Remember, like I told you, I'm not an expert of anybody. I'm just here doing my best.
Our guy, I'm learning a lot. I always, in fact, you've made me to be on the go. I'm not at the back,
There you go. That's the whole idea, because this idea about yourself if you are not the one speaking, so that we don't get feedback. So the whole idea is that it's a new thing that is exploding, and as many Africans that can get involved early, then you give yourself a fair chance to compete. You're not going to be complaining against the white guys or Americans later, because they are doing that in front of you, and the thing is available in Nigeria. Nobody knows or AI, everybody. In the last 1 year is when it started. All of us are rookies. Chema,
yes, sir.
Here.
But it's very good for content too.
Yes, of course. Now, of course.
Yes. So the issue of you having a website is lying there, not having content to put there is something of the past.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, sir. So, but if I can draw you back a little on the issue of writing books, how do you, because if you publish your book...
No, you're not drawing me back. We're on grant writing right now. Any question I want to talk about before, when we close that, when we finish the practicals, then we can go to general questions, because this is how I get distracted.
Yes, sir.
Right? So, so let's...
Yes, sir.
You have
Can I speak now?
Yes, hold on. Now
Sorry, if you don't mind me not using my video because I'm somewhere right now.
Who is talking? I can't. Who is the person?
Okay, my name is Adeola. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Adeola. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm speaking from Canada. Yeah, so thank you, Dr. Claire. Yes, I followed you for a while, even though I haven't been on Clubhouse in recent times. I've been really busy, but thank you so much for this opportunity. I had some free time, so I've been listening in from the very first day, and I want to say thank you for doing this for young people. I'm a young person, but not so young myself. Yeah, so I'm really very grateful that you're giving people this opportunity to, learn and be better. And so my expertise, and I would say expertise, is in grant writing. And I was the one who, I think 2 days ago, said that I recently wrote a complete concept note using ChatGPT, and which was submitted and has gone on to the final stage. So I just want to say that with grant writing, it's not as easy as writing a book. From my own experience with ChatGPT, it is good. It will give you the content that you need, like Dr. Pe has said, but also with grant writing, you need to do in-depth research, which you can do on ChatGPT. And so when you're doing the prompts, if you're writing on the first speaker who was talking about farming, so you also want to look at research on farming, what has happened, what kind of grants are being funded by the organizations that you want to write for. So what is the statistics with Nigeria? So you want to do that on the side as you are getting the information from ChatGPT, and you also want to, inculcate all of this information into ChatGPT. I'm so curious to see what you want to do with the practicals, but I know for a fact that this ChatGPT is fantastic. It will give you majority, let me say 90% of what you want, but not entirely, because with grant writing, it comes with experience, Dr. Okpe. I'm not trying to say that ChatGPT will not help, but grant writing is a very tough terrain. It comes with experience. It comes with a lot of research work. It comes with also all the information that you are provided today in terms of knowing who is providing grants, in what specific thematic areas, and in what countries. You have to find out all of those information, which is what you have done for us today. But in terms of writing, and let me also use the example of the recent concept note that I developed. In as much as ChatGPT gave me all of this information that I needed, I still needed to sit down, like Dr. Kwe said, and review paragraph by paragraph. Is this what I want? If it is not what I want, I look at what the RFP, for instance, is asking me. I put it into ChatGPT specifically to give me guiding light. I call it guiding light because that's what it has done for me, guiding light. I do not have to think too much. I put it there. What information did ChatGPT give to me? Is it relevant to the RFP that I'm working on? If no, I take that aspect out and I put the specific RFP question or requirement into ChatGPT, and voila, I get what I want. But then I
don't assume that people are listening to you know what an RFP is. Don't come here and use ChatGPT.
I'm sorry.
Explain what RFP is. They are rookies. They don't know what you're talking about. What is RFP to Gideon or to Dr. T? Oh, yeah.
It's request for proposal.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry for that. It's request for proposal.
Harass us. Oh, yeah, go.
No. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that. So it's big thing that they are asking in the request for proposal, and then you input it into ChatGPT, and it will give you what that thing is asking you. But then again, you have to look at the specificity of what you are writing and the purpose for which you are writing. So all of those introduction, objectives, your how do I call your outcomes and your inputs, they are very critical. And one other thing that I know that you can do, because when you have your objectives, you also have to look at the targets. What are the indicators? You can find it from ChatGPT. But if you do not know about that, if you do not have an idea of putting indicators in your objectives. So that's why I said grant writing is a bit complex. You have to really have some kind of experience to determine how to write it. So when you have your objectives, you want to tell the person or the organization that you are writing this proposal to say that, yes, I have objectives 1 to 5. And for these specific objectives, this is what I want you to look out for that will determine success. ChatGPT will give it to you equally. Thank you for your time.
All right. Well, what I just heard, everything.
I want to chip in something also.
Just a second before you chip in, Chairman. I'm going to call it a minute. What I just heard you say, okay, everything you always come back to ChatGPT can give you. At the same time, you're telling them ChatGPT cannot do. No, I don't accept, because I don't see anything you have said that ChatGPT cannot do. If you tell me there is this thing ChatGPT can't do, then we can have an argument about that. When it comes to grant writing, 100% of what you need, ChatGPT can do. Hold on.
Dr. Okwe, what I said is that ChatGPT will give you things, but you will take.
Madam, when I'm on my stage, I don't like being interrupted. That's when I get nasty. Okay? When I'm talking, let me finish. You talk for about 10 minutes, right? Did I stop you? So please, this is what people do on Clubhouse that drives me crazy. Don't come here and do that. When I'm done and you have a feedback, then you let me know. Let's have a civil conversation. All right, what I'm saying to you, and I'm talking to everybody listening to this right now, don't listen to the difficulties. When you start, you will figure it out. That's what they told me when I'm a lawyer. When I say I want to produce software, all those in the business of all those web developers, you cannot do this. I have 11 to my credit and I've made millions of dollars as a software publisher. I cannot code my name, even if my life depended on it. So it's bullshit, okay? You can learn. Okay, you will learn as you go. My first software was a mess. But the first one I launched, I did $430,000. Actually, it was the very first one. What am I talking about? It's called Mobimatic. Before we launched that, the impression people gave me is that, you need this, you need that, you need that. You are not technical, you cannot get it done. But because I did it in anger, because somebody who knows, who's supposed to teach me, fired me as a student, and I got angry that what does he know that I cannot go do? And I went and did it. 2 months later, I launched my software, and I did November 2016. I'm giving you facts and figures. You can verify it in a place called jvzoo.com. It's a public site. It will list how many products you sold, how much averages, and what the total is. $430,000 in 1 month. So I stopped listening to professionals who would tell me I can't do something. Oh, it's bullshit. And I say that in a very nice way, not in a negative way. In the sense that I expect them, just like right now, that even those who are leading in the technology who started it, they are now afraid what they have unleashed. Now they are trying to stop the development of AI. But when Elon Musk was contributing billions to those guys who developed it, he didn't remember that time. He took his money out at some point, not knowing that the thing is going to, before they reach breakthrough, he took his money out. Then now those guys have reached breakthrough. Now he's following them to say, AI is dangerous. But it's nonsense, okay? People will learn and they will grow, okay? Like Jesus said, and I like to repeat it, when you do these things that I tell you, then you will know the truth, and then the truth shall set you free. You can't know until you start doing. I'm not discounting what my sister just said, guys. I'm just trying to remove the fear part of it. She's very correct. Just the same way you're going to use, she will use ChatGPT to write a grant. You that you have never written a grant before will use ChatGPT to write your grant. You probably might not be able to do it as well as her, or you might even do it better. It doesn't matter, depending on what she's writing. But two people will not produce the same quality. Just like in anything, it's like a book. Some people are going to produce award-winning books with ChatGPT. Some will produce rubbish. We have seen a guy who won a design award with a design he did with Midjourney, AI tool. Midjourney, you don't design anything, you speak to Midjourney and it produces picture for you. The picture that guy produced there, he won an international award with it without them knowing that it was a Midjourney generated picture. It's all how you prompt. It comes down to prompting. So listen to that part of what she has to say. You need to understand what a grant is looking for and use ChatGPT to get it. But that you can't use ChatGPT from beginning to end. People have already gotten grants with grants generated by ChatGPT, and they are not grant writers. So guys, you have to also do your own due diligence. You have to work harder. You have to get to decide. We talk about it at the beginning. First, you have to ask yourself, what is without using technical terms, what are the grant writers looking for in the grants they want to give? That is what they are referring to with all those technical terms. What do they want? They will say so in the grant itself. You copy that and you tell ChatGPT, I want to write a program proposal that addresses these issues. ChatGPT will write it in 5 seconds. All the research they are talking about, ChatGPT already has it. If you wanted to include the research, if it is part of the grant writing, it will put it for you in 5 seconds. So what are you talking about? But I'll leave it like that because, again, we are not fighting. We're having a conversation. I'm going to let you have a clap back in a second after we hear from Chairman, and then I'll let Adiola have a comeback. All I'm just saying to you guys, now, again, I'm not an expert, but I've used ChatGPT right now to write 32 books. So nobody can tell me how difficult it is. It's not difficult. It's a question of knowing what to do. Before this week is out, I'm going to write 2 grants myself just to test myself that I can do this. I'm not in grant writing business. Anything they tell you AI can do, it will require a learning curve too. You are not going to become an expert grant writer like Adiola that has been doing it for 10 years or 5 years overnight, but you can catch up on the research. You can catch up on writing the business plan. I just ask it with ordinary, let me show you guys. This thing is not rocket science here. let's quickly break this thing down before we take this thing into too much theory. Here is me before I came up this morning. I sat down on my chair. So, oh, I'm teaching on grant writing today. I better get something writing, something written. I don't know if this thing puts time and date. You will see. I just typed this thing. I want to apply for a grant for my orphanage that serves children in poor countries like Haiti, Sudan, and Mali. If I even spelled it wrong, please write a comprehensive proposal to be submitted to the UN organization in charge of grant. Now, this is very elementary. Don't get it confused. For you to write a grant, you have to go to the site and all of that. And I'm coming to that in a second. I wanted to see what it would do. This was about 15 minutes before we opened the site this one, and I've never ever done anything on grant there. See, it gave you executive summary, give you background, because I didn't give it enough information. So it might not be detailed as it should be. Project objectives. I didn't even tell it anything about objective, you write it itself. Then project implementation, you put it there. Budget, blah, blah, blah. All of that. And then I said continue. Then basically this is your project proposal cover letter. And I said, okay, can you give me an organizational profile to attach? Just to see what it will do. It tabbed out my organizational profile. Your orphanage, even put it in bracket. I should put whatever name I want. Is dedicated to providing safe and nurturing environment, blah, blah, blah. The same way you will have to write it when you do a grant. Our key objectives. I've written grants before. Okay. He puts it all of that there, right? Then I said, okay, I need a complete sample financial statement to consider. Right? It gives it to me. Your financial statement, organization name, grants, letting you know you have to put something there, donations, fundraising, blah, blah, gives you a sample financial statement that you can then use to create your own. Now, how well you create it will then differ between what Adiola can do and what you can do. That's where experience might come in. But you get this thing done. Now, I ask you again, what are the main sections that should be in a standard grant? You see, I'm just going up and down because I was just doing trial and error. I've never done this. Now, when I'm going to narrow it down and start writing a proper one, I know what to do. A standard grant proposal typically includes the following sections. It listed them: your executive summary, your goals and objectives, your methodology and project plan, your budget, your sustainability, your evaluation and impact measurement, your organizational capacity and expertise, then conclusion, right? So now what you then do, obviously, is you take each of these and make sure either you tell it to now write the organizational executive summary, including this, including this, including that, or write your background. Then you can then give it more context to give you a much more related grant stuff, okay? Now, and I said there are several opportunities. I asked it, where are the opportunities to apply for grants for motherless babies in the US? I just typed it off the top of my head. Then he started listing them. He listed only 7 because I didn't ask for number. Then I wanted to why are you giving me stuff without website? I said, please list specific website URLs. I can get access to the options you have listed. He puts the websites there. I can then drill down and take this one and say, what specific grants do they have for motherless babies under grants.org if I'm too lazy to go there. List each of them that are specifically meant for nursing homes in Nebraska or motherless babies in Nebraska. It will list it. So my point to you guys is that as you go, you can even go there. Say I mentioned a website, some website where you get a sample grant. That sample grant will have everything, all this research, all this stuff they're talking about is already there. And then you take that sample, you take it to ChatGPT, and section by section, you use it to develop the one that you want for your organization. I just wanted to share that before we go into a real grant one. Maybe I'll make Adiola do it for us. At least since he's also teaching, let him teach all of us. He will write a grant for us. Adiola, are you on your ChatGPT? Let me put out the spot.
Yes, I am.
I am. Can you share your screen? Because we are going to be the one to lead us. So, oh yeah. All right, before we go to that, yeah, please, I want you to do that. Help us. All right, Chairman, let me have you. You can have your take now. Go ahead. Before we go to actually doing the writing with a professional who actually knows where to go. All right, Chairman, go ahead. Chairman, are you there? I think Chairman has bounced out. Dr. T, you have to unmute yourself if you want to talk.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Dr. T.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. I don't have much of a question. My comment is that I'm beginning to work with some African American organizations, and the subject of a grant writer frequently comes up. So I'm looking forward to being able to. My background is in academia, so the prospect of being able to do this and to do it properly, at least in the learning stages, I'm super excited about that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Awesome, awesome. And I would suggest you connect with Adiola Ogbebi too, because that's what she does even before ChatGPT came to disrupt everybody's life. So she can guide you on how to use it better. I love to connect people. At least she can use her own experience, like trying to use ChatGPT as a lawyer. I will be in a very good place to help people to do it better because I have the legal background. Thank you so much, Dr. T, for joining us. Abdul Eri, you have something to say? You're on stage? Go ahead. Unmute yourself. Have it. Okay, Dana, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Okwe. Yeah. I part of my background because I'm driving right now. So I just want to comment on what you have said earlier because you said it all. I want to tell Madam Adiola that everything has to do with prompting. When your specific words that are in your RFP, I don't know how you call it. I think it's request for proposal. You put those prompts.
All these technical things.
Yes. Yes. If you put them in the prompt, they are going to come up with what you need. Your specific needs is what it determines how those things comes out. That's number one. Then number two, I also want to indulge. This grant is not only for business. I believe it's also for people that are maybe education. There's an educational grant, and there's a way to write that too. I believe that's part of what Dr. Okwe has explained. So, what are the requirements that are in the educational grant that are needed? So, just take those words, those needed prompts, put them in your prompt. Then it will give you what you need. Then you have to go with what they are going to teach us. I'm not really interested in prompting. So thank you very much, Dr. Okwe, for what you are doing. You are really helping everyone. We that are just growing in terms of entrepreneurship. You are making us believe that it is what we can do. Thank you very much. I just want to thank you again. Thank you.
All right, my brother. Yes, the idea is to open everybody's eyes. Some of you will end up becoming much, much bigger in this thing than even me. Me, I've chopped belly food and I'm lazy. But some of you are hardcore. When you get into this thing, after 6 months, even Diola will be chasing you on this grand matter. That's the idea. Let everybody know what's going on out there. Thank you so much for that contribution. Gideon, go ahead. Okay, sorry, hold on. I see somebody speaking from Gist House, but it's Dana Wilson that is next. Okay, let's turn it around or move it around. After Dana has contributed, then we'll go to Gist House and take somebody from there, and then we'll go to Clubhouse and take somebody from there. In the meantime, Yusuf, you want to mute yourself so that there will be no echo inside of Gist House. Thank you. We're going to come to you after Dana has finished. Go ahead, Dana.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm Dana Wilson, and I am a grant writer. I've been writing grants for about 25 years. I'm in New Jersey in the United States. I have been intrigued by ChatGPT, as well as all of the grant writers. It's been a hot topic for us in terms of how will this affect us. And I'm actually happy that it exists. I don't feel that it's going to replace me. I look at it as something that will assist me.
100%. I'm glad that you have that attitude. That's the attitude to have. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very tech savvy. You know, like when you were mentioning some of those technology tools, I'm familiar with most of the things you mentioned. And I think it's one of those kind of situations where, you know, technology tends to change a lot of jobs in different industries. And so this whole AI thing is now changing the writing field, not just grants, but also bids and contracts and publishing and all kinds of different aspects of writing. But what I will say is that one of the most important things that people, in my opinion, need to realize is that while ChatGPT may be a a good way to start learning some of the formats of how grants work. There are still things that grant professionals, it's going to be hard for ChatGPT to replace everything. Like, for example, grant management. Like, let's say you're lucky enough to use GPT to get, 6-figure grants or whatever. Then you have to manage those grants. You have grant reports, you have money you have to manage. And that's really important, because I've spent a lot of time not just writing grants, but also dealing with grant management and compliance. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen organizations have to turn money back because they didn't spend it, or they did not spend it properly. So I just wanted to mention the importance of that. And you also mentioned earlier about hiring grant professionals. I happen to be a member of the Grant Professionals Association. I'm the past president of the New Jersey chapter, and I'm the current treasurer of the Metro New York City chapter. And the Grant Professionals Association has a directory of grant professionals. So for people who want to hire grant professionals, that's one of the top organizations for grant professionals. I do recommend that everybody that is interested in being in this field join it, because it has a great conference and great opportunities to learn, and as well as grant research database discounts. The final thing I just wanted to mention is that I am the executive director of 2 nonprofits, and one of them is faith-based for my church, and the other is called the National Educational Network, Inc. And we happen to have a free resource that we have created for my nonprofit created, and the acronym is NENI, N-E-N-I. And our website is nenionline.org. Our free resource is Grants for Newbies. It is a Facebook group. And I also created a house on Clubhouse called Grants for Newbies. I haven't done a whole lot with it yet, but I am actively doing the Facebook group. So that is a free resource. We have all kinds of grants on there that I post information for free, for-profit grants, nonprofit grants, grants for home ownership, grants for college. So those are my comments, and I'm enjoying the conversation.
She's good.
Yes, Chairman, hold on a second. Thank you so much, Dana, for that. Before we go to Chairman, can you do us a favor? Because can you post the link to your Facebook group or any of your public groups that people who want to go to the next level? Because everything we do, you need a mentor. You need somebody who's been there, especially if you have never done it before. You need somebody that can guide you, because you might get a contract for someone to write. Because if you put out an advert properly, by the time we start talking marketing and I show you how to do it, you probably will get somebody say, okay, come and write for me. But if you really don't have any experience putting it all together, you might end up fumbling. But if you have somebody in your group, you can ask them. You can ask someone like a Dana, this is what I'm getting, what do I do? Or ask an Adiola. So please, feel free to post in the chat for us your Facebook group or your Clubhouse group for those who are interested to join and follow you. I definitely will follow you. I like to broaden my knowledge, but as a coach, I know that I need to keep educating myself to be able to help my students better. But those of you who are looking at this as an area we want to go to, do yourself a favor. ChatGPT alone, without guidance, can't get you there. All right, you need guidance, but this is what you also have to know. Everybody know that grant writing is a very big business, like Dana just said. You may not be able to manage a grant. It shouldn't stop you from going into that business, right? You can just be a grant writer. You are not into execution or anything. You just write the grants. I paid somebody 8 years ago in this same America $2,000 to write me a grant for our church. Because it's not something I know about. I went to DoubleTree event where they are trying to teach pastors how to, it was 8 or even more than that. I think it's about 12 or 14 years now. When the president That was the last year before Obama came in. Started doing these faith-based grants that they were doing, and some people were going around to teach pastors how to get hold of that money. So those ladies, when they finished the seminar, the hotel, then they offered to write for churches for $2,000. I paid them because I wanted one for a program I was doing for the church. We didn't get the money. I have to be sincere at the end of the day, but I'm not going to say it's the fault of the grant writer, because some of the documentation we need to put in place and all of that, we didn't give it to them on time, and eventually they had to like more or less just muzzle it through. But my point is, you need to get yourself properly educated, properly improve if you are going to be a proper professional grant writer. You can decide it's only grant you want to write, and then you carry it and give them. Or you want to do end-to-end, that's another level. Or you want to manage grants. It's a whole industry. You just have to pick where you want to belong. You can start with the basic, just I want to be a grant writer. They are on freelancer.com right now. They are on fiverr.com right now. That's all they do. They write grants. You see some of them, they've already got 1,000 orders before in their career. 200, 800. They charge $50, $100, $200 to write a grant. Some people are paying them. It's a business. And then when they write the grant, they give you whatever you then do with the grant. That's your problem. But the level of a donor, of course, not only will they write the grant, they will help you follow through with it. They will help you manage it. And that's a whole different level. So pick where you want to belong and then start educating yourself together. That would be my personal advice. I've shared about 10 softwares with you. A couple of them are grant management software tools where you can even manage better now than the professionals who are doing it 5 years ago. It's all software. Go learn it, go figure it out. Okay? Because you're not going to learn everything in a 2-hour workshop. This is just to sensitize you. And I do not intend to downplay any profession, just the same way when we come to teaching about paralegal business, which is for lawyers. Lawyers are not going to like me, but I'm going to teach guys who are not lawyers how they can make great money as paralegals without knowing anything about law using ChatGPT. My own people are doing it, so why not? So don't discount, don't just not think that oh, you're not a grant writer, you're at the level of top level guys. Follow them, study them, join their groups, network with them, and then you can get yourself going. I think that is important. I don't want to teach you guys the wrong stuff, making it sound like tomorrow morning now you're going to start making millions on grant notes. They're professional. You still have a long way to go. I can only teach you a little. You now need to take it from there and grow. Thank you guys so much for that. I look for Dana Wilson on Clubhouse and follow her. And you can search. I'm still waiting for the name of a Facebook group to be posted if she wants. Maybe it's a private group. I don't know. Is it a private group, Dana?
It is not private. You can sign up. I posted my nonprofit link, and it's posted right on the homepage of my nonprofit.
Okay, yes. How did they get it? Because we're on
nennyonline.org is my nonprofit.
Say it again.
I posted it in the chat in Zoom. NENIonline.org.
Okay, fantastic.
And my projects are all posted right on the homepage, including the Grants for Newbies project.
Fantastic. Okay, Chairman, you want to go before we take Gideon?
Yes. Yes. Going from what she said, I've even copied both her online every I've copied it. So going forward, for us in Farmers Home Foundation, we believe in taking, in Africa, they believe that farmers should be relegated to the background. They don't know nothing. So we are focused on training. If you remember the other time we did training, more than 400 people from our group joined the class because we are taking them from obscurity. And some of them are becoming trainers already. So it's a plus. Or some of them, if you see one of the ladies she's now in real estate. She farms, but she's in real estate from the trainings we started from you. So it's a good one. So for us in Farmers Home Foundation, we also teach people there's something that you cannot do without, which is food. So we also, yes, whether you like it or yes, you must eat. So we also teach people when to buy food stuff, when to sell, when to store, when not to store. And by so doing, you're seeing some persons like this morning I went to bring some things that came in from Zamfara. Some women are already starting businesses with just small food items because they are getting it for cheap. They are getting it cheaper to where they are. So we are helping people to do all that. But for us, like sometimes when we get trainings, like the training we have that is coming up, it will inculcate both financial literacy training, both digital training, both how to make different things. But sometimes, just as she said, I want to follow her. Sometimes the challenges we have is getting sponsors. And the sponsors might be that these particular people have finished training on feed making, for instance. They don't have money to buy the machineries to start. Sometimes, so learning how to write, learning this is like an answered prayer to us. Because these women, that we have women that are into ginger farming, because of sometimes the flood came in and covered everywhere. We have even started mental health training for them because we are having issue of people are having suicidal attempts. We have to kind of keep videos. So with this kind of trainings, we in Farmers Home Foundation would liaise with professionals here. Okay, let's say we are doing this, like the training that is coming up, they're going to teach people on how to dry tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. You know, they have in so many, like let me take Zamfara, for instance. Because of the crisis there, tomatoes, a basket of tomatoes were sold at 500 naira. And it's not even enough to buy the fertilizer or whatever they use to farm. But because it's a perishable item, so we are now going in on with some government parastatals to train them on how to dry. But the issue we are still having is after the training, how do they get the machineries to start? So Neni, am I right? I would love to kind of follow you. You teach us, okay, these women that are doing this is what they're supposed to do. This is how to go about it. So thank you, sir. I am so grateful. And our Facebook page is Farmers Home Foundation.
All right.
Just type.
All right. Thank you, Chairman. I want us to get to Adiola to actually let us tackle grant writing using ChatGPT today as part of our practical. Since she's here, I don't need to do that. I want to use a professional. So let's just wrap up the discussion for a second. Before I get Diola to share our screen and then we go into it, what I want everybody to do, if you have not yet joined the WhatsApp group for the ChatGPT Business Club, please, you want to click the link at the top of your room. Mr. King Glue, you want to share that link inside of Gist House, please, so that those who have not joined the WhatsApp group, they can join it. It's a free group for those who are trying to develop in the area of ChatGPT to know more and to stop more. Like I said, on Friday, which is tomorrow, after the video, latest by Monday, I'm going to officially open the Business 360 Success Club.
Let me call Jim, ask her where should be.
Gideon, you want to?
Let me call Jim, ask her where should be. Jim.
Gideon, your mic is open. Okay. So what I'm saying is that I'm going to start a Business 360 Success Club all over again. I've had it before, but I want to do it on a whole different level where I'm going to withdraw from a lot of this group that I just. Gideon, I'm going to remove if you don't meet yourself. Okay. So okay, so we're going to be introducing the Business 360 Success Club. It's not going to be a free club. It's going to be something small, maybe $10 a month as a member, so that way we can continue to give more quality information. I can't keep spending all my time on free forums. At the end of the day, I'm a business person. So I want to be able to give more to those who are members of our club, which is the Business 360 Success Club. I will introduce that tomorrow, maybe, if it's ready. If not, I can wait till Monday. But the ChatGPT Business Club is a free WhatsApp group for those who want to learn more about ChatGPT, want to interact with others and all of that stuff so that you can continue to build yourself. If you have not yet joined, please click on the WhatsApp link at the top of the room. I think we have it on Clubhouse already. We have it on Zoom. I'm still waiting for the G-Stars person to put it. It's always the last, even though he knows this is coming. Put it at the top of the link. I think he has put it in the chat All right. For those of you on Gist House, the link to the WhatsApp group is in your chat. For those of us on Clubhouse, is that link at the top of the room, and I've also posted it in the chat. It is again, it's a free association. Join it and let's have fun there. And of course, if you haven't joined the group inside of Clubhouse, Business 360 Success Club, please click at the link at the top. For those of you still having red badges, that means you're not yet a member of the club. Look at it at the top, Business 360 Success Club. It is free to join on Clubhouse for now. Obviously, the one that will be paid will be the pro version, where we are going to give you a lot of other materials other than just being a member of the club. All right, I wanted to share that before we go. Deola, are you ready?
Yes, I think so.
All right.
Yeah, am I? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Before we go on, yeah. So I just wanted to say that I think that I was misconstrued. I understand about the prompts, but I was saying is that you have to look at what you are being asked to produce, so that you are able to prompt it in appropriately to generate what you need. That was what I was trying to say. So I hope that clarifies the issues that you raised, Dr. Okwe. I'm your protege, Dr. Okwe.
No, I didn't even contradict you now. What you said is exactly what I said. I just said they should not be afraid to try.
Yes, exactly.
Because when they do you like that, they all of a sudden they are thinking, I can't do it. Oh, you're 100% correct, Adiola. You can. I'm not trying to. I remember this name now. Oh my God. All right. So I do have your screen now, guys. Again, I want you guys to follow her. Like they always say, follow person with no road. Okay. At least before ChatGPT, she has been writing grants. Now with ChatGPT, she can only be better. And I'm glad that they are taking that attitude. That's it to take. ChatGPT is not threatening anybody's job except the one that is not ready to grow. Before they started using software, people write grants by hand. When software started coming, those who insist on continue to write it by hand, they faded away. Those who are using software to do it better control the industry. Now AI has come. Those grant writers who refuse to use the tool, they will die out a natural death, but it's never going to replace them. ChatGPT won't get up and start writing grants. Somebody's got to tell it what to write. Somebody has to prime it. Somebody has to prompt it rather. And those who already know what needs to be in a grant like an Adiola definitely will be able to do it much better than somebody who has never written a grant. All right, point taking. Yeah, Adiola, let's go now. I want to write grant now. Kilode, share screen now. Let us do this grant.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Whose grants should we be writing? I think we should look for someone who is interested in, putting out a topic there. Let's use that as a guide.
Yeah, we're going to do that now. Okay, let's okay, hold on, Chairman. You want to write grant? You want? What
yes.
Grant about?
The grant on supporting farmers for training.
Can you put it in the chat? I'll just copy it out.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Today.
Hey, today, oh yeah, Adiola, share your screen. If you don't share your screen, share.
Yeah, I want to just close some of what I have on, then share my screen. I have so many things opened.
All right, fantastic. For those of you on Clubhouse and Gist House, you will not be able to see the screen, but you will hear. If I were you, I know many of you already. We have almost 100 people on this on Zoom now. This might be a good time for you to be on Zoom, but we are recording it. So those who want to watch the preview, the recording can do it later. But I want to see this magic today. Yes. And then that will be the questioner, so that you guys can follow step by step. Okay, while we're waiting for her to get ready, guys, are you still tracking with us? If you're still tracking on Clubhouse, give me a 10 now. If you're still tracking on Gist House, give me a 10. If you're on Facebook looking at us, oh yeah, give us a 10 too on Facebook. Oh yeah, everybody, let's 10. There you go.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen, but can I see? Oh, I'm not able to see the chat anymore.
You can see it now. The chat is there now. Hold on. Let me make you. I think you're already a co-host, so you should be able to.
Yeah, I wanted to see the question that she put out there.
Click on the button that says chat now.
Yes, I did. I can't see.
I've
There's
posted
nothing
it
from
again.
her. Okay, grant on supporting training of. Okay, all right. Thank you.
Farmers for
Okay.
tomato production and preservation.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let me go to.
Start with new chat so that we can see it from afresh.
Yes.
Are we using ChatGPT or Google
No, no,
Bard?
no. I'm using ChatGPT. That's what I have used
It's
before
better for
to
me
write.
too.
Yes,
Okay.
I've used it like twice now to write a concept note.
Hold on, Adiola.
Okay.
Shama, if you keep interrupting, I'm going to remove you. Okay? I am the person who is asking the question here. When you have a question, you raise up your hand, then I'll tell you to go. We don't do chaos in my rooms. It's why they don't like me. I'm in 100% control. Call me a dictator if you like, I don't care. Right now, Diola is the trainer. Okay? I will give her questions. I will talk to her about how we want to do it. Then she will do. Thank you for that. Now, Diola, what I want you to do for the sake of those who are watching this, and because it's getting recorded, just give them a brief, like a 1 minute thing. If they want to write a grant proposal, tell them the first thing they need to do if they are using ChatGPT, so that they can follow you in sequence. And then if Chema asks questions, she will raise up her hand, and then because we're writing a grant for her, at the end of the day, we're going to give it to her. But let's be honest. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. But yeah, thanks for this opportunity. Yeah, so if we want to write a grant proposal, the first thing we want to look at is what exactly we are going to be focusing on. What are we writing about? So for instance, you want to write about girl power and girl empowerment. What kind of empowerment are you looking at? Do you want to create safe spaces for young girls, or do you want to focus on like period poverty for young girls? So if you already have an idea of the kind of thematic area that you want to focus on, so you want to come to ChatGPT to say that I want to write a grant proposal focusing on girl, child, period poverty, or I want to focus on writing a grant focusing on empowerment for young boys, and then you are specific about the kind of empowerment that you want to do for them. So in this case, somebody wants to write a proposal focusing on supporting training of farmers on tomato production and preservation. But before you begin to say that you want to write this kind of grant, you want to also look out for grant opportunities focusing on this kind of subject matter. Have you already looked for organizations that are focused on funding farmers training? So if you have not done so, that is the first thing that we would like to do. We want to look at organizations that are funding this kind of topic, or maybe there is opportunity for you to write a grant, because there are some other foundations also who say that, okay, send us a proposal. We are willing to fund your idea. So you also want to look out for such funders, such donors. They can be private.
Let's get to the practical. Yeah, do the first thing. You have said
okay, so
is to find the proposal. Type what you will type. Let me see before you hit enter. Then I can
okay. I want to first.
Go ahead. Guys, I hope you guys are seeing the screen. Be paying attention as we are doing this. When she's done typing, before she hits enter, I may add a few things purely from using ChatGPT perspective, not as a grant writer myself.
Okay.
Now, this one, you're already telling to write the proposal. I thought you said the first thing they have to do is to find the organizations that are giving grants. So this is not your first question.
Yes.
Okay, so take this out. Your first question about getting, okay, let me see you type it out. All right. Okay, let me know when you're done. All right, now,
yes.
Okay, what you need to do now, again, to put a little bit of more ChatGPT pro stuff in there, you're going to say at the beginning, okay, at the beginning before any all of that, you're going to say, don't cut it out, just take your cursor to the beginning of your sentence.
Okay.
Not the end.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to say, you, ChatGPT. This is how you do, you, ChatGPT.
Okay. You, chat. GPT. Okay.
You are a grant writing professional. So you're priming it to be whoever you want it to be. You're a grant writing professional with 30 years of experience in writing grant proposals for the farming industry. That's the area you want to go, right? Now,
Okay.
as preparatory to writing and I hope you guys are paying attention here, to writing a winning grant proposal for my farmers training project. I want you to search for donors. Now we are going through your TINA. I want you to for donors, comma, organizations, and even governments that are funding now, they are funding thematic areas or thematic projects instead of areas. Focusing on farmers training. Is that what, now, hold on before you eat in that. Chairman, is this what you want? Or have you captured what you want?
Yes, sir, you've captured it.
Okay, fine. Now, one of the things.
Sorry, if I can comment, the training will be focused on a particular thing that each location are well known, what is available in their location. So it will be different this thing. But let's focus on tomatoes first.
You have confused everybody now. Remember, again, when you are using ChatGPT with my
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, you pay attention. Don't listen to respond, listen to understand me. Mute yourself.
Okay.
When you are using, when you are trying to use ChatGPT, from the little I know, and this is what I'm mute yourself. I will let you know when it's time to talk. All right. When it is time, because when you are on, there's echo everywhere on 4 platforms here. So is you want to address ChatGPT like a 10-year-old genius who can do anything you want to do. But for it to do it for you, you have to be very clear. You have to be very, very clear to this 10-year-old boy what you want. What you have just talked about, even me as an adult, I'm confused what you want. So if what you want to do is you want to train farmers, you want to train people on how to do tomato farming, then be clear. I want you to be clear what exactly you want to get this grant for, because Adela can't help you unless you clear that. ChatGPT can't help us. Be clear, one sentence. What are you trying to do?
Yes, on how to get the funding for the tomatoes farming and preservation.
Is it the training or the preservation?
The training and the preservation.
Okay. Let me repeat what I thought you were saying. Then we can then direct Adela to correct whatever she's writing, because I'm still not clear. So you are trying to get grants, okay, to fund your training project to farmers on tomato farming and tomato preservation. Is that what I heard you say?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Or Adela, can you present it like that?
Okay. So I want you to search for donors, funding opportunities. We can put funding opportunities because sometimes so funding opportunities. Organizations and government that are funding thematic projects focusing on farmers training. No, I'm not. Yeah. Sorry, my. Okay.
So funding on thematic projects that are funding thematic projects focusing on farmers training. Okay, because you didn't want to narrow it down to tomatoes and tomato preservation. That's what she's talking about. But because farmers training is very general. Training on what?
Yeah.
So,
Training. Yeah.
to put
on
tomatoes, growing tomatoes and preserving tomatoes. Now, what he'll probably tell you, remember ChatGPT, unless Adeola has the plugin, the Windows, what do you call it?
I don't.
Windows XL. So what he probably will tell you is that I'm not trained all the way to 2023, blah, blah, blah. But he will give you what he has. So hit enter, let's see what he says. Right. Okay, ChatGPT is thinking. We're going to hear it. Now, even here they think now. Now the thinking is slower because of so many people using it. So let's hear what he has to say. Are you in Nigeria or abroad? Because sometimes your internet might be slow enough.
I'm in Canada.
Oh, you're in Canada, so your stuff
Yeah.
is a problem. So
yeah, I can't seem to see anything. It's not.
Yeah, it's not brought anything out. You say you hit enter.
Yeah.
It has not brought anything out. That's strange.
That's very strange.
Wait for that's strange. You're very correct. Where are we? Yeah, I'm looking at the screen myself. He has not brought out.
Let me stop sharing and see if I'll share right away. Let me just stop sharing and then see.
Okay, let me bring up my own and let's us see why she's looking at what she has. All right, maybe she will direct me what to type so that way we are faster. Let's. Oh, unfortunately, she has already entered. We don't have the.
I don't have it. It didn't show up anything.
All right, let me use mine. Can you see my own screen now? I don't know what's going on. Let's see if it's going to be this.
Yeah, I don't know.
With mine. All right, let me take out this chat. All right, so tell me what to type again. I forgot.
Oh, okay. You as ChatGPT with.
I got it.
Okay. You ChatGPT with over 30 years experience.
Yeah.
In grant writing. With you have 30 years experience in grant writing for farmers. Now, okay.
The difference, different grants, okay, different grants opportunities.
Yeah, organizations, governments, donors.
Okay, governments, donors. This who are providing grants. This training for farmers. Now, where I remember also maybe we want to localize it. Which area are you looking for? Is it US or where? I don't know about Nigeria. I'm not going to search for Nigeria. Don't know anything about Nigeria. Where are you? Are you in US, UK? Where are you looking for these grants? Is it in the US? Is it in the UK? Or we just
in Nigeria?
Okay. Okay, we can localize it later. Let's see what comes up. Then we can then go back and then do the one that is for Nigeria specifically. All right. For all I know, organizations donors are providing grants for training for farmers. Let's even say in Africa first. Okay. Let's see where that one will take us. All right. So we have localized it to Africa. Let's see if it will come up with anything at all. Okay. Now it's listing them. Based on the provided information, here are some grant opportunities, organizations and governments and donors that provide Actually, I didn't ask for a number. So I will say, please make this at least 10 sources if you can, and list the specific website URLs to find them. All right, let's say we type that and see what it gives us. If it doesn't have up to 10, after these plugins that I'm going to put on this stuff is now it's listing them. It's listed 10. Now it's still tapping. Okay, blah, 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 blah. These sources are known for their commitment to delivering accurate and unbiased news. They have established reputation. I don't know what it's talking about. What is giving me news? What did I ask it to do? What is it giving me? 10 website. Oh, sorry, wrong prompt. Let me go back to, as you can see here, it went too deep. It gave the list of the 10 at the top, but it gave me not the way I want to. Nope. That's not what I want. I have to scroll it down to the question I just typed. Where's my question? I have it saved. Okay. Now you guys see why I told you not to go get the complicated 4.0. Since the day I got it, it put all sorts of plugin AI PM clinical community that disturb my search, and I don't know what to do. Now you're trying to write, before you start writing, I need you to identify 10 different grant opportunities again, blah, blah, blah. Let's do it again. Please list the websites of the organizations and where. Okay, we do that. Let's see what comes up this time. Now it's listed 10. Let me see, let me go review what he wrote. He said, yeah, 10 different grant opportunities and donors that provide grants for training farmers in the context of growing and preserving tomatoes. I hope Choma is hearing. He put in PIP Indoor Tomato Project by Foundation for Food and Agriculture, FFAR.
Yes.
The USDA Specialty Crop Block Grant Program. You can see that the 10 he gave you actually related directly to the issue of grants for farmers. But what I'm needing it to do, I need you, she didn't list the website, you did not list the complete websites URLs for the 10 grants organizations. Please provide the complete websites URLs for the question. Let me see if it will go and hallucinate again like it did. Now it's searching for the website URLs. So let's see what it brings out. It says processing. You can see. Now it says apologies for the incomplete website URLs. Here is the complete website URLs for the 10 grant organizations providing grants for training of farmers and tomatoes. You can make it 100 if you want, but to me 10 is okay. So now
can
you
I
have
contribute, Dr. Okwe?
Yeah,
can I say something?
Yeah, you will say something. Let me finish explaining, please. All right. So now you have the names of the organizations and you have the names, the websites to go get it. That's step one, according to Adiola, and that makes sense. Now that you know these organizations, the first thing you want to then do is you want to go to each of them to go get their, what is that thing, that word they use? Basically, their requirements, RFP. So when you click on this, for instance, it will take you to foundationfar.org, and in there, in fact, to their PIP Indoor Tomato Farming Project. If I click on this now, it's going to take me there. And on that side, it will list what they require for you to be able to apply for the grant. That's what you're going to copy out, and then you're going to then engage ChatGPT on to make sure you comply with every aspect of their requirement. Now you can contribute. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So before going to the websites to go and check the RFPs and the requirements, you also want to narrow down those organizations that are funding projects in Africa or your country specifically. Because not all of these organizations that have been listed here may be funding projects in Africa or in your country. So you want to do that first. So after doing that, you can now, I believe, go to the website of these organizations to look at specifically what area of funding or training in farmers training they are focused on, and then you can now get the RFP and begin to, narrow down to writing your proposal.
All right. I went to one of the sites, the very first one listed. We are looking at the site right now. I hope everybody can see the website that I'm in, the one that says PIP Indoor Tomato Farming Project. Can you guys see that? For those of you who are looking at this on Zoom, just let me know you can see my screen, because sometimes when I leave where I was, then all of a sudden you won't see that anymore. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay, great. So under that, that's what she's talking about. You go to grants and funding. Remember, I put Africa inside the search, so I'm almost certain that these people will be sustaining Africa, but you have a responsibility to go check it out. What are the open opportunities? What are the grants awarded? The open opportunity, does it list your country? Is this something that you can apply for, and all of that? And then you can pick up the phone and you can call them. ChatGPT has done its part. It's giving you the website. Now you go there, you get the RFP, and then you get to be sure they are going to take care of the particular area that you are in. All right, you can see they have the time that is due, blah, blah, blah. All those 10 sites have that. So we assume that you are going to call them, or you have searched the sites, you have confirmed that these organizations actually do give grants in your own area of interest, in your own country of residence. That is the research you have to do first by going to those websites individually. You have 10 here. And if possible, you can prompt ChatGPT further. I just don't want us to spend so much time. I have to get out of here in 10 minutes because I realize that it's 2 o'clock. I have a political room in 1 hour. I really want to have fun. I've been talking serious stuff. I want to enjoy myself today. So I have a political room starting in an hour on Clubhouse. It's going to be very hot. It's about Lagos and their new indigenization policy. Let me go and fight small. And I need to eat before then. Sorry about that. We've already spent 3 hours. So I'm going to have to go. So now that you have it, Adiola, what is the next thing now they need to do?
Yes, you want to download the RFP as you have gone to the website. You now want to begin to look at what exactly are they asking for? What is the area of focus? Even though you've seen the exact thing. So in those RFPs, you will see so many things, and they would include things like what is the overview of your project or the context of your project. So you have to put all of that into ChatGPT, focusing on tomato production and preservation. So you want to say, ChatGPT, can you provide for me or write for me an overview on the context of tomato production and preservation in Nigeria. And then you want to also look at the historical perspective. So that's also a bit of research. So you put it into your proposal writing. And then again, after that, you want to look at what kind of organizations, maybe you want to partner with organizations. You want to also look at those things, that this is what you'll be doing in terms of partnerships in implementing that project. And then you want to look at the technical approach. You can ask ChatGPT, you can ask it a question. So for instance, you want to tell it to describe the project that you should be carrying out. So after that, you also want to look at the activities. What kind of activities do you want to look at? Then you prompt that also into GPT. And then you want to look at the project goals and objectives. And so this particular aspect is of great concern to me, because you want to be able to generate the kind of objectives that aligns with the vision of the proposal that you are writing. What are the expectations? What does that RFP says? What do they want to see at the end? What kind of outcomes are they looking at? So are they looking at the sustainable development goals, for instance? What sustainable development goals focuses on farming? So how will your project contribute contribute to making an impact in that area. So you want to look at that. And that's when you begin to also look at your monitoring and evaluation. What kind of outcomes do you want to see? What kind of indicators will show to you that you have, been able to, arrive at these outcomes? And how do you even arrive at those outcomes? Those are the things that you want to look at. And then you want to look at the task itself. What kind of task do you want to carry out? You want to also list those tasks and the key activities under those tasks. ChatGPT will also provide those kind of information that you need. So depending on the kind of tasks that you want to look at. Then if your project is also looking at gender, for instance, you want to look at gender inclusion and gender equality and social inclusion. You want to impute it into your ChatGPT to talk about what aspects of, how farming impacts gender. So gender is not just about women alone. That's the confusion that people often have. Gender focuses on men, how farming affects men and how it affects women differently. So you also want to put that. And I will say this because many donors look at Jesse now. They want to look at how, different issues are impacting men and impacting women. And there's a lot of funding in those regards. And then you want to also look at maybe sustainability is very key. After these people give you money or this organization gives you money, and if the funding ends, how are you going to continue to implement this project? What is your own sustainability plan? And then you want to put up your monitoring and reporting guidelines. And then finally, you want to look at your budget. So those are the things that you want to impute into ChatGPT.
Thank you. If they already know all of that, they don't need ChatGPT, my sister. That's the point. If they're going to do all of that, why bother to go to ChatGPT? You guys are complicating this stuff. It's not complicated at all. I'm telling you.
I said you put all of this information in ChatGPT, and it will give it to you.
If you are putting the information already, why would you need to give it to it? All right, I hear you. You are talking like a professional that does this thing for a living, and you've been doing it. But me, I'm saying to you, it's a very it's not complicated. You can complicate it all you want, but I'm here telling you because this is how I've been able to break through in so many industries that people tell all this long English. When you get in there, that is not complicated at all. When you get what you do need to do, you are applying for a grant. The grant will list what it requires to see in your grant. That's all you need. You copy that, and you tell ChatGPT, we are going to write a grant for so and so organization who has, in its request for proposal, has said this is what they would like to see. Then you paste the whole thing there. Make sure you number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you post it into ChatGPT, and then you tell ChatGPT, now we are going to write this proposal one at a time. Now let's take one. You copy that one, you post it to ChatGPT, and tell it to write it. It will write it very well, very correct, very solid. Dear me. Now, if you get to a place where it says you must demonstrate how this will affect Nigerian citizens or not affect Nigerian citizens, copy that, paste it into the ChatGPT, tell it to write it. ChatGPT will write it for you, guaranteed 100%. Don't overthink it. If I want to hire somebody, if I'm trying to give grant to Nigerian children in university, I will say, these are the type of children, and these are the type of things I want to see in your application. I want to see why you think you are qualified. I want to see what your father does to be sure that you don't need assistance. What kind of school do you have in mind? What are you planning to do when you graduate, right? I'm going to list the requirements for you to qualify for my grant. And I'm saying to you, if you get that requirement and you ask ChatGPT for it, it will give you a credible answer that you can use with or without some little modifications here and there. Now, of course, I'm assuming you know how to do the big prompting, which is for it to not make things up, for it not to lie to you, for it to only give you what is factual and verifiable. That's a level of prompt that you have to do before you even start writing. I'm not going into that one now. That's like, but basically when you're going to start, let me not say I'm not giving it to you. I may not give you the exact wording because it's long, that I got from several places, but essentially what you're trying to tell ChatGPT, we're going to write a grant, but everything you're going to write to me must be verifiable, must be factual. I don't want you to make stuff up that cannot be verified. I don't want you to copy somebody else's work. Something that's just giving several instructions like that, essentially, it's like you're telling your 10-year-old son, I don't want you to lie to me. I don't want you to make stuff up in your head because you don't know. If you don't know, tell me you don't know. I want whatever you give me, that if I go and verify it, it will be correct. That is what prompting it to not go and have hallucination. Once you have put that in there, take the RFP thing step by step. They gave it to you. They listed it. I just saw it on the site I was in before. Put it in ChatGPT one by one. Let it do the work for you. Why must you go do all those research? They're only for you to come and ask ChatGPT. Then you're wasting your time. Now, when it gives it to you and you don't like what he has given you, then you tell it to do it again. You will tell it this is not up to the standard of what a grant organization will give me because it's not detailed enough. I want you to include this detail, include this detail. I want you to include population study. I want you to include a graph. It will give you the thing. I'm talking to new people who want to go into this business. Don't let them make it scary for you. You will never start. Leave Adiola alone. Listen to what I'm saying to you. She's not wrong, by the way. Don't get me wrong. Adiola is 100% correct, but she's talking like a professional who is letting her knowledge start to overpower this ChatGPT thing. This is it, guys. It's not complicated. If you type the RFP on this chat right now, I will write this grant in 30 minutes with everybody looking at me, and it will be submittable. It will 100%. Unless you don't know what to ask ChatGPT. I've seen people ask ChatGPT to do financial flows with some inputs, and it did it perfectly. Then he exported it to Excel, and all of it works. Is it research about what population that ChatGPT doesn't know? They fed it everything all the way to September 2021. It knows exactly how many people are in Nigeria. It knows how many people are, it knows how many children are starving. It knows how many farmers are in most places. So that research you are talking about, it will do it for you. So here is what I'm going to close this on, without necessarily invalidating Adiola's experience. It's what she does. It's like when a lawyer is talking. The way the lawyer will be taking this thing is a whole different. We are talking about, it's like a credit repair business, which is one of the businesses I will teach. If a lawyer is talking about it, a lawyer will be giving you nuances. What law did he violate? What law did he not violate? But you don't need that to repair credit. It's a step-by-step process. You give it to ChatGPT, this is a letter you need to, for instance, one of the ways to clean out some stuff of your credit. I'm not teaching that now. But let's say you have a bad credit and you really want to get some of them off. By law, most of those people are supposed to keep record of the transaction. But most of them don't keep record, particularly if it's more than a year or they pass it from one collection to the other. They don't have the exact contract to sign. So one of the first things they will tell you is I write a letter to the credit reporting agency to validate all the debts that you owe with the contract that you sign to get into that debt. Many credit reporting agencies do not have it. It's a fact. I'm talking America now. So with that alone, maybe if you have 15 bad reports, about 5 will disappear, because if they can't submit it, then by law, the reporting agency will have to delete it. But I'm just giving an example. But when a lawyer wants to explain this credit repair business, by the time he finishes, you yourself say, just decide, let me just be doing my Uber service. Let me leave all these people alone, because it will sound complicated. So the same way with this grant writing, okay? Don't get too caught up in the nuances, at least at the early stages. By the time you submit 2 or 3 proposals, right? Especially in organized countries like America or UK, they will respond to you now. If they don't think your proposal is up to date, they will put it in a letter. They will let you know what is wrong. Then you use that to grow. But for now, get the RFP, make sure your proposal, I hate using technical terms, get the request for proposal, right? It is always typed. It's always on their website, what they want to see in the winning grant. They will even tell you, to win this grant, you have to include this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Take it one by one and make sure your grant proposal responds to each of those items. Finish. And I'm telling you now, most of them ChatGPT can write for you. There might be one or two that you might need to go do some research on, but there are not plenty. That's all I'm going to say to you. Otherwise, you are going to be paralyzed. Andy says she's making it scary to us, I beg. She's just trying to be professional. So guys, you should follow her. Don't follow me, I don't write grants. So she's the professional. I only use ChatGPT, and I've used it for everything I wanted to, and he has answered me. So please, don't take my word, though. Go try. Go try yourself. It's a very simple process. You can identify grants. We just did that. You can go to the sites, get the RFP or get the request for proposal there, and then get ChatGPT to write you a grant that flows and answers all the things they put in the request. Then you give yourself a reasonable time. Remember though, you can't just wake up and say, I want to go apply for grant. Are you doing something? Because remember, that money is not just for you to go and spend, it's to do what you're planning to do. So like chairman now that has a training project going, it makes perfect sense. Because then they can, because they're not going to give you money now, they're going to verify some of the stuff that you are doing. I'll leave it like that. I'll give the last word to chairman. Chairman, you have I see your hand raised up. And we got to go. We can't teach you everything the same day. Today, we have covered enough. You want more? Please follow Adiola. Me, I'm done tomorrow. I'm taking another business. Chairman, go for it. You are muted.
Okay. Thank you so much. In fact, as she's talking, as I'm typing, it's giving me the details of what she's saying one by one. It's even itemized it.
Of course.
And I told it to make it unique. It has even written the proposal as I'm talking to you now. It will just tell you, fix your name here, fix your name here, do this here, do this here. It has written the proposal already, so it's...
Just make sure, again, just make sure you comply with the terms in the advertisement for that grant, because they are not going to go outside that. They don't know whether you go to Yaba or you went to Yaba to do research. You have answered the question. How is your project going to impact your community? You ask ChatGPT, ChatGPT will write it for you. And if you give it the CDAN, there's something they call CDAN. I'm trying not to get technical with you guys because I don't want to scare you away until you start using it. A CDAN is something where you are, like I just explained, where you are trying to make sure that what it gives you is original, it is factual, and it is verifiable. So that doesn't make up bullshit for you. So you're going to say in writing this grant proposal, I do not want you to make stuff up. If you don't know, I need you to tell me you don't know. I want you to give me original content that will pass verification by AI detection tools. If you tell ChatGPT that, ChatGPT will give you a solid original stuff. It is more, there are some that are a bit more complicated, but tapping that alone, I've used it for 32 books before I even know about the more complicated one. And when I gave it to my assistant to check whether any of my books is copyrighted, she came back and said 90% of it. It says, the thing says 90% probability that this was written by a human being. Meanwhile, it was written with ChatGPT. It's not complicated. Just tell it, don't lie. Don't copy. Don't plagiarize. Only provide information that is verifiable by these grant authorities. Finish. Then start asking it what you want. Start posting the request for proposal requirements one by one. And then read over what it gives you to be sure that it makes sense and it adequately addresses those 10 points or 11 points. Then put your stuff together, copy all of it into your what is it called? Into your Word document. And then if possible, then you can then have a grant specialist, if it's your friend, or maybe pay them a little money to help you go over it. You've written your grant, you're not asking them to write it for you, but you want them to help you go it over to be sure that it's on point. They might charge you a little money for that, and that's okay, because you don't know yet. Okay, they might then come back and then give you their opinion. Whatever opinion they give you, you go back to ChatGPT and tell it whatever. Or after you are done, take that proposal given to you by ChatGPT, for instance. This is a strategy I'm using too now. take the complete thing, take it to BAD, Google BAD, and say, I have just written this comprehensive proposal for a grant for so and so. I need you to double check this and confirm whether it complies with standard grant proposals that are likely to win grants from grant organizations. If not, tell me the areas you think needs to be worked on. It will tell you. So you can even use Google BAD to update what you have just done. And then you're good to go. That's my opinion. But then we are talking stuff. All right, Diola, thank you so much for your professionalism and what to do. Do you have a?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, do you have a Facebook group? Sorry, a Clubhouse group?
Yes. No, I don't have a group. I don't have a group. I'm just on Clubhouse.
You have Gist House?
Sorry?
You have Gist House group?
No.
What kind of coach? I'm firing you. I'm no longer your coach.
Okay, I will take it up, but on Gist House.
On Gist House, exactly. Please, guys, post the Gist House link for me. Let me pull over my order before I close this one.
I am there. I'm in Gist House.
Well, yes, you will be opening rooms there. Open rooms on grants. Develop a whole following of people that are writing grants. That's how you become a leader. Start opening rooms on how to be an effective grant writer, and then people can be discussing, and from there you can begin to help them so that they don't go too excited and then go and lule when they get in there. At least they, at least they will have a professional helping them. I would love that. If you have not yet joined Gist House, guys, I need you guys to post your Gist House link. I want to encourage everybody to please join Gist House and try to open rooms there. Figure out how it works. It's like Clubhouse. He has his own features. We have some features that are not even in Clubhouse. We have it there. You can share your screen, for instance, if you're in there with your people and actually do the ChatGPT with them looking on while they're in the room. Clubhouse does not have that. You can poll your room. You can even do video. We have video on Gist House. It's a great app, so go check it out. Okay, please, guys, please post the link to Gist House for me. It's on Google Play Store. It's also on the iOS App Store. If you want to, I'm not saying leave Clubhouse. I myself, I'm still on Clubhouse. I'm just saying that is one more tool for you. The same way you use Twitter, you use Facebook. Gist House is one more software that you can use to get your message across. And I encourage you, I happen to be the founder of that app, along with some of my investors. And we are also using these training sessions to also promote our own app. I think it's fair enough. If I'm using Clubhouse that I don't have inheritance on, why should I not promote the one where I have inheritance on? Go check it out. Gist House is on Google Play Store and it's on App Store. So thank you guys so much for coming for today. We are done with the training for today. I will see you guys tomorrow for another exciting business that you can start with ChatGPT. Remember the deal. Listen, learn, but narrow down to just a few. You cannot do 21 businesses simultaneously. I would rather even say you start with one. And when that one is making money, you can then pick up a second one. Most people lose out because they are trying to do too many things at the same time. So pay attention. We're going to have this 21-day boot camp. It's for information. Then decide, oh, I like this one. I like that one. Maximum maybe 2 or 3. I prefer 1. But we're all greedy. So if you're going to be greedy, don't be more than 2 or 3. And then start putting in the time. I don't care how good ChatGPT is. You still have to put in the time to learn by going to rooms opened by people like Adiola if you're in the grant business. If you're in the commercial book writing business, go to rooms that I open. I'm big on that. I am big on that. I am determined to get my royalty starting from this month to create books so that by the end of the year, I'm not even talking about the ones I've done before now. Starting from ground zero, how can I build that set of books to a $10,000 royalty business 6 months from now? And I'm going to be doing it. You're going to see me do it. I'm going to do 100 books in related fields that are great books, not 20-page book or 40-page book. There's none of my books that is less than 200 pages. I'm like that. Very thorough, like Adiola when it comes to my own area. I want to cover everything you can cover. So pick one and follow the leader. Affiliate marketing that we taught yesterday. I'm doing affiliate marketing, but I'm not every day active on it where I'm going to be teaching about it. Find somebody that is like that. Follow them. And you will achieve breakthrough. Nobody wins by knowledge. I don't care what you know today. You think you know, you don't know. Until you get on that ChatGPT and actually try to write this grant. That's when you're going to know. Or write the grants and submit it. And then you get a query of 20 pages back that you have written rubbish. That's when you're going to know that, okay, I need to be better here. And that's how you grow. Hopefully, I've been able to impact one life today. It's one life at a time. If I can get one person from today's training on Clubhouse, on Gist House, on Facebook, on Zoom, one person to become a millionaire 1 year from now, I have done great work. God has blessed me with several of those, but out of 1,000, I know maybe it's only 5 that are going to make it, but that's 5 people that you have rescued from poverty. You are moving. That's a legacy. I don't expect everybody will take action. Some of you will leave here. This is the last time you ever talk about what you learned. Some of you will leave here today, and by 5 days' time, they've written 5 grants. Now they're chasing grants all over the place. It's the way it is. My prayer is that God will give you the grace to not let life get in the way as you start to hustle. Because there's no substitute for the work. You got to do the work. You got to do the work. God bless you guys. I'm going to let them go on Zoom. Diola, thank you once again. Dr. T, Chioma, everybody that participated today, I appreciate you so much. I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I am blessed.